This episode of An Unexpected Podcast is brought to you by Kira Arnold. Thank you. Hello, friends, and welcome to An Unexpected Podcast. I'm Ez.
And I'm Lane.
And we're talking Tolkien.
We're coming to you from the Shire of America, the beautiful state of Ohio, in a little village called Amambada.
This week, we're bringing the Fire Brigade as we ride the white coattails of a wizard in hopes of saving a son of Gondor.
Sounded good that time.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. 110%.
As all you have to do is actually read what's in the doc.
It's a Ron Burgundy problem, you know. You're in good company, my friend.
Well, he can actually read what's on the teleprompter. I sometimes struggle with the read.
So I didn't want to make a quick aside. I know it's kind of early to be making asides, but I did say Amambada, and I'm aware of that. And I said it last week, and I said I would explain it.
Yeah.
And then I said I thought to myself, let's leave it in this week, so I actually can explain it, because I didn't last week. And I can't remember why I said Amambada.
Okay.
It was something with me and Sarah talking about Amanda, and I think one of us said Amambada. And that was the story.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, it's not really a page-turner. It's not like a Tolkien novel or something. I don't know, but... am I
hidden code,
interrupting you?
Something
or
secret?
You're on camera now, you know?
Yeah,
so.
Well, I know. That's actually...
Hey, so now you guys know
that's a good point.
It's like,
that's a good...
Sure, Lane.
Why was Ez awkwardly pausing? Let's go look at the camera real quick. Yeah. No, it was a very important message from some of our patrons on Discord, who we had a bit of a spat earlier, Sherston and I.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to... I didn't get a chance to clear the air there before we started the show, so we kind of hopped in the show, and there's this big fight going on, guys. You got to check it out. It's on Discord, and it's not... Well, don't check it out. I don't know. I think
you caused most of the drama.
Why am I shining light on negativity? I don't know what my problem is.
I don't know. And it's your own, so...
It's crazy. Anyways, so we are joined by a special guest today, actually.
I know. We've got a celebrity in the building. We have our friend Nate Muller here. Nate is bringing video to life, making video a possibility. Remember how we've always said, if those of you watching it who can't see at home, who can't watch, now you actually can. It's pretty incredible.
Scary is what it is.
Yeah, it is a frightening aspect.
Yeah,
or prospect, or I don't know. One of the specs, which you no longer have, by the way.
No, so I didn't have to worry about the glare. Nate's got this place lit up in here.
Nate would be blind right now.
Yeah.
With all the lights coming in to illuminate us, if you had those glasses on, the glare would be too real for all of us.
To deal, yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine how much more insight we're going to get into the chapter with all the lights in here.
We're going to actually be able to read it.
Da-ding.
What's that word?
Right.
No more mispronunciations.
What did I say? I said insights, didn't I?
What?
What word? What is it?
No, he's like...
I'm saying
looking down at the page.
Yeah, I'm saying...
I see.
There was no reason for any more
I see. So now you're... Wait. Are you saying now I have to...
Are we on the same... What are we doing here? Let's meet, baby. Come on.
Are you telling me that...
Ignore all this, okay?
Yeah.
Look at me.
I'm trying.
See me for who I am.
The LASIK's still settling in.
Okay. By the end, that's going to be like, yeah, so, I don't know, dingus. What are you saying?
Oh, I'm seeing trouble. Oh, my gosh.
No, Nate is here with us. So we kind of explained it on Discord, so let's just go into it a little bit here. Yeah. The whole idea of video came from Kevin McKeegan. We got to give Kev full credit. He's like, dude, I watch podcasts as much as I listen to them. He said, why aren't you guys going to do video? And at the same time, he was formulating the plan for the studio. So when was this? Like 10 months ago, we started talking about this.
Yeah.
And so anyway, conversation began to happen. We were laying the studio out. He's like, you want to set it up so that you guys can do video eventually? I'm like, Kev, no one's going to want to watch us talk for 2.5 hours. He's like, you'd be surprised, Lane. He's like, you have moments, and you're a book club, so that way it'd be another way for uppers to meet you on a fortnightly basis and feel like they're in the room with you guys.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, so I started thinking like that makes a lot of sense. We discussed it. We were like, what do you think, man? What do you think? Yeah, it'd be great. But the whole idea of like producing podcast episodes and also video is just sort of daunting. It's a lot of it's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
And something that I haven't done video stuff for a long time. you are like audio god, you know, and so I think we can.
Myar. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Working my way up.
So
Walking fast.
So anyway, through this whole conversation, and when we were setting up the studio, Kev was like, "Hey, you care if I invite my buddy Nate? He's an upper. He's really into video. We work together. Can he come out and check out the space and just at least have us be able to have enough room for video if we wanted to do it?"
Yeah.
We were like, "Absolutely." So Nate came out, took pictures, said we could do it in this space. This space would be good. And so we started talking, and it came to the point where we were like, you know, video, we love the idea. Think it'd be kind of cool to be on YouTube, but we're not going to be able to do it. So we sent a text to Nate and said, "Nate, is this something you would want to take on? Like, would you like to produce the video side of an Unexpected Podcast?" And Nate said, "Yeah, absolutely. Would love it." So that has led us here to tonight.
We were like,
this
thank
trial
God.
run. Yeah, it's like, and Nate's an amazing guy too. So it's really, really cool that, you know, that he's able to do this, and he's also great company. He's also a Tolkien nut like us.
Yeah.
And so that's where we are right now. This is a dry run, if you will. We're taking a walk down video lane, and he's got us all set up. The lights are up, the cameras are up. This is an amazing experience.
Well, and Nate, this is kind of a hobby for you, right? And this is something you're passionate about.
Yep.
Right.
100%. It all started with my sister saying, "Hey, I know you and your wife love to take pictures, and I don't want to pay for a photographer for my wedding. Would you guys be willing to take a few pictures and just, you know, nothing crazy, but I just don't want the only stuff to come from the wedding to be cell phone pictures."
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, we can figure that out. Jen's like, "Don't go crazy and buy a bunch of stuff to make this happen. This is just for fun."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh yeah, no, it's just for fun."
Sure.
So like bargain hunting and everything, I start going through, you know, finding out who's got what, and picked up the Canon camera first, and it was an initial purchase to kind of get us through the door.
Right.
And then after I got the camera, I'm like, you know what? That one lens, I mean, it zooms in and out nice, but it's not the end all be all.
Yeah.
So I start looking at lenses,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, well, you know what?
It's a dangerous corridor.
How do I
isn't it?
control the lighting though? You know, and so then I bought these soft boxes,
Right. Yeah.
and it just grew from there. And it was just like, by the end of the thing, I'm not going to put the dollar amount out there because my wife she still doesn't know. So
That's okay.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
Yeah, that's big.
Exactly.
And the other thing too is you didn't technically like step out of line. You were still having fun.
Yep, 100%.
Right? You were having fun with it. So fun is kind of a relative term.
Right.
You can't put a dollar amount on fun. That's for sure. Lord knows Ez has tried, and it's gotten in trouble too.
It'll never work. Yeah.
But does that sound familiar? Kind of like that's the video side of what you have done with audio.
Yeah, it turns into sort of a talking about senses and the tastes and the sounds and all that good stuff. I mean, like we had so right now you're on like a what is it, a Shure SM? That's a 58, I think. Yeah, microphone, which is awesome.
I think it's 59.
It's a 58. It's a SM58.
That's industry standard for.
That's
he doesn't really know anything about that.
Hey, okay, here we go. Ladies jumping. Project manager's
standard.
back. He's back. So those are awesome. And then I was just looking at ways to kind of upgrade the sound, really. And actually, once we get out to the studio, we were talking about double insulation. We're talking about soundproofing stuff. We're going crazy.
We also had a conversation before we started recording, and as this kind of like just grilling Nate on, he's like, so these cameras we'll be able to hang them like in a spot from some sort of cradle or Nate's like, they're wall mounts, and you can also mount it from the ceiling. It just screws in. Yeah. Pretty like, cool. And we got to the point where we were like, Ez starts giggling and stuff, and we're like, you just are reveling in the moment. Like, you don't need to know that you can mount cameras to the wall.
No, I just
you knew that before.
I wanted Nate to paint a picture for me. Use your words and paint that picture for me, because I can't go out and see it right now.
Yeah.
So that's what we were doing. We were going back and forth and just thinking about it. And I'm looking around at the cameras and the lights. I'm just like starting to see it.
And this is just really cool because we have attempted recording before. Actually, the very first episode we recorded, which is a single camera, like right over where Nate is, and just right on the table.
Yep.
So that many meetings episode.
That's right.
Of us just telling our stories, And so that's lost. And actually, the first 2 episodes are recorded. We recorded both that night.
Really?
I think we did.
The welcome. We did the welcome. Yeah, the mini meetings.
Yes.
And then
Chapter 1. Yeah.
That's
so
right.
that is out there. It's like lost footage. Maybe someday
It's on a hard drive somewhere.
Oh, good Lord there. Oh, excuse me. Play with my cords. And then we recorded the...
Folks can see that now.
I know. For those of you watching at home. Playing with my cords. We also recorded the anniversary episode. Edited it and everything, but the internet speed here in Amanda and back in Mount Vernon, or Bangs rather, is just not conducive for uploading videos in this modern age. So anyway, we've attempted it before, but it's cool to have, like, what I'm trying to say is, if I could use brevity, is that I'm excited that in the annals, the very first episode we have up will still be in the house.
Yeah,
in this room. Sure. Like, it'll be kind of cool because majority of it will be out in the studio, the new space and everything. And this is sort of like a trial run to see what it's going to look like and the potential and everything, and having them kind of set up where we would in the studio. But it's cool that the first one will be right here where it started.
It's like the long goodbye to the dining room.
Yeah. And also the podcast. This is actually our last episode.
Yeah, here we go.
So
set them up there, softball. Set them up.
It's been a good ride. All stories.
Nate's first episode. We're out.
It's been real. It's been fun, but it ain't been real fun.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
So anyway, Nate, thanks for doing all this and being willing to jump in and I don't know, take it on. It's amazing for us, and we're very thankful.
It's going to be super helpful. Yeah. I mean, it's just nice to think that we were talking about the element of having him off camera too, and just being able to chime in and stuff like that, which would be kind of cool. So when he comes over and stuff, and having that space out in the studio, it's going to be sick, guys. It's going to be sick. Yeah. And think about the show when we do show stuff, having a couple people locally over and doing some stuff out in the hangout area too. So we won't even record that in the studio. We'll just be out there.
Yep. Set a camera up and just talk. Yeah. On the couch.
Some reactions and stuff. So. I don't know. Yeah. It's exciting.
We've had some glorious days already, but it's some bright days are ahead as well. So
yeah, you know what I just realized I'm worried about is people are going to see me do check. I'm like,
I'll play with my cords, and you're just hey.
I constantly do this. It's a thing that I do. I play with the microphone, and I don't know why.
It's kind of fun though, isn't it? I mean, you can do this.
Yeah, I know. It's great. Now, careful.
It's cool.
Careful.
Wiggle it. Just so you guys know, if this is ever compromised, throw the mic out. Mic's gone.
He's referring, for those of you who are not watching.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I got to start saying that for real now.
Yeah, there's a cord.
Stay on track, guys. Come on.
Anyways.
Yeah, that's bad radio. There's a cord on the.
Oh gosh. So, anyways, it's interesting because you will get to see sort of like I don't know, just some of the things that we do, right?
That there, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, what I can't wait for is when Lane goes to take a bathroom break, right? So people are like, oh, wow, Ez is really just on his own for like 5 minutes there. It wasn't that Lane had nothing to say. He's literally not in the room. He's actually, I'm just covering while he goes in here, and you won't be able to do that as much with the studio. You're going to have to go out and...
They're going to be longer breaks.
You're going to be taking a leak.
10 minutes later. So what do you think, Lane? Oh, yeah.
Chapter's over, buddy.
Cut that out. He's still not here. Strawberries with cream.
Oh, man. That'll be fun.
You just have a mannequin sitting in his chair. You're like
Ferris Bueller. Yeah, just sort of there. Oh, that's funny. Wow.
That's great.
So let's drop some Eves. Is that cool? I know. Yeah. I mean, quick counsel. I can't even talk.
Which one?
How's life?
Life is, I can see.
Yeah. Tell everyone about that. You've had your own little version of Star Wars.
I can see clearly now. The LASIK stuff.
We were talking about hymns in Narnia, and so very fitting that you were once you were blind and now you see.
Yep, exactly.
Sort of an amazing grace.
So if anybody saw the pictures from last week, you guys were bigging. You guys were digging. Can't speak.
I don't think anyone noticed you because you were in the shadows. You had sort of the dark Neo glasses on, and
I didn't even look like myself.
And you were holding shoulders because you were being led around as well, which was.
I could not see. So I think it was. It's been a week and a day since I've had LASIK, and 2020. I'll tell you right now, out of the corner of my eye, Nate's a little blurry, and it's probably because the light's behind him. That's also probably a part of it. I was earlier this week. I was doing some reading with one of my students, and I'd forgotten to take my eye drops. And the first 7 days are like super important, right? So I didn't take my eye drops in the morning, and then it's like coming up on noon. I missed like 2 or 3, which is stupid. It was out in my car, and I'm sitting there, and we're reading, and I start like misreading some of the words. Which, as you guys know, that's common, okay? But this was not a very difficult text, and I'm like, wait, I lost my place, is what it was. And the student was like, Mr. Kirk, your eye looks like it's like really red, like maybe bleeding. And I was like, wait,
geez.
what? So like I go look at it. It just was. I knew it was getting dry because I was like blinking really. My eyes were getting heavy. So yeah, I was like, all right, you're gonna.
Might start calling you Terminator with that one red eye.
Yeah, exactly.
Arnold.
I had to send her out. I had to go get the eye drops, and as soon as you did it, I was like, great. It started to heal, and I could almost see it healing. It was crazy.
I'm kind of worried about you.
I'm fine.
I'm scared. It's especially that first day and we can do a studio update too, but this is part of the studio update, is Ez drove right after his surgery, which he wasn't supposed to do. Hung around for 7 or 8 hours, which he wasn't supposed to do. He's like, guys, I'm really supposed to be laying down with my eyes shut.
Yep.
Was supposed to be, about 12 hours to go.
I had to supervise over
I got to drive home and, supervise it. That's my role. You know that.
I know.
But
I'm back up, though.
Beginning of the school year is going well?
Yeah, it's been going really well, actually, and it's good. It's just like it's moving right along, and honestly, those of you who listen to Further Up to will know I've got a few quotes up on the board.
Yep.
Motivated, I feel good, and I don't know, man. It's just I'm also excited for what's to come. I was telling you about some of my plans in the future of this podcast, and just where I'm heading in life, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
I actually I just feel better.
Good times. Good times ahead, brother. For sure.
Yeah, but how about you? Happy birthday, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, birthday.
You're gonna try to breeze past it and just not.
I don't. Okay, so I don't know. This is weird. I know a lot of people love their birthday, and I love people that love their birthday and get amped up about them. I've never liked my birthday, and I'll tell you why. Okay. It's rooted in childhood. I know it. I identify it. I'm not trying to avoid it in any way. But my birthday is August 31st. It's at the beginning of a school year. So most of you who remember, if you went to school in the U.S., maybe it's just a Midwest thing. I don't know. You get birthday pencils, right? When we were in elementary school, you get called down to the principal's office, get a little certificate and a birthday pencil.
Yeah.
Okay? They didn't start that till September.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember a couple years in a row. May have just been one time, but it stuck with me, man.
Yeah.
Nobody remembered my birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an Eeyore story, but it's true. And I wasn't called down. I didn't get a birthday pencil, no certificate, and I was like, wow, okay.
Huh.
September birthdays? Absolutely.
Wow.
Summer birthdays in May, they were all called down. So I was overlooked. And as I've grown older, I'm like, this is really a day I should be celebrating my mom.
Yeah,
she
right. Yeah,
did a lot of work on this day.
She did.
I just kind of survived. Didn't really do much.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it because Sarah's so sweet. She gets jazzed up for my birthday. Gets amped. She puts up the birthday sign, which you can see behind you.
Yeah.
She always wants to go above and beyond. I'm like, hon, I don't need anything. I just want to spend time with you. I want to just pretend it's a normal day. Go about it as usual. But she's always trying to find ways to make it special, and she always does.
Yeah.
Gets me surprise gifts and just invites family over. And
right.
So it's been a great day. And it's really cool to be ending it like this as well. And But start of school is going great.
Good.
Second grade is nuts. It's been a big change from what I have been doing. So I don't know if I've told you this, but I've told Sarah, one day will be like cloud 9. The other day I'll be like, I don't know what I'm doing at all. And then the next day will be like euphoric. I'm like, man, breakthroughs. That lesson was incredible. The kids responded, or I had this moment. It was a breakthrough moment. And then the next day it's like, I don't even know what I'm doing. So it's very up and down right now. And there's a lot of stuff that I haven't ever had to do before that I'm taking on. And so I've just kind of realized I'm probably going to be behind all year long. But I need to focus on putting in things one at a time, getting it under control and doing my best, and then adding stuff on. It's always, for me, it's always the curriculum stuff. It's always the I don't know. The relationship side with kids is always easy. I love that part.
Yeah.
It's the other stuff that is, difficult. But
right. Yeah. Well, and you're now responsible for those learning targets, the as you said, the standards.
And a lot more kids all day long at once as opposed to shorter bursts. So it's a pacing thing too. It's very different. But it's wonderful but exhausting, man. Yeah. But life's good. I went to a wedding yesterday, which was really cool. My good friend Logan Manning got married to Bethany, his wife, and hung out with some of my rugby friends, and it was a good time, really good time. So
good.
Life is good, my friend.
Awesome. All right.
Some dropping eaves.
Okay.
Let's just get in there.
All right.
Not much Amazon show news going on. Nothing really breaking. We're still reeling from all that discussion last week. Where's our story going to take place? The whole discussion about the Tolkien estate's involvement, where Tom Shippey is involved in the team as kind of a veto man and representative for the Tolkien estate, sort of a figure for them to help the production remain as true to the text and Tolkien's literary creation as possible. We had some great comments from uppers about like who we'd like to see a lead character be, how they lay the show out, what's it going to look like. And I have fallen in love, man, with the idea of following, at least in part, Sauron. Mm-hmm. Following Sauron, making him a lead, fleshing him out a little bit. Maybe not totally, so you don't lose any of that mystery that comes with him, but having a little more meat and potatoes kind of filled in with who he was as a character. And maybe some of his, I don't know, his inner struggle. Could we like...
I mean, that'd be wild.
Could we discover some of that? That'd be kind of interesting to...
Yeah, what's going on there with him? I mean, is there some... Is it all just pure evil? I mean,
right.
like
how much of his light side still remains? Does he only use that as a method of manipulation? Because that part of him does appear in the Second Age, and what role does that have to play? Right. But yeah, just really cool ideas about how Elrond could work in, how could we see Galadriel again? Who would we follow? Like who would be these threads? And we decided they'd have to be at the very least Elven, right? Because the length of time within the Second Age is 3,500 years. So if they're going to cover it, and then what parts of the Second Age are they going to cover? And then also the fact that their First and Third Age is totally off limits, and stuff that's referenced in the Jackson films can't be directly referenced within the show, and some of the technicalities that are coming to light, which are really interesting. So, yeah, I mean, cool things to discuss. And have you had time to kind of think more about any of that stuff?
I've been wondering, like point of view character, like your protagonist or whatever. Like, who is that? I mean, when you actually read about the Second Age, it's not really. I mean, there's a couple. As you said, sort of, we would have to focus on elves, really. Yeah, we have to focus on some of their struggle and things, and I mean, really.
And I guess the kingdom of Numenor too will be a big focus as well. And you could go from that way. You could go from king to king to king, and the lineage and conflict within the kingdom of Numenor. So that I don't know. There's so much that they can do, and it's I don't know. It's nice to just be able to speculate at this point and try to think about how they're going to break it up. Well, and 5 seasons too, and we talked about 20 episodes per season. Yeah. At least that first season, anyway.
Because you were looking at the one of the cast. Let's see, what's her name? Kavanaugh, right? Is her last name? I'm blanking here on her first name. Is it Markella?
Yes.
Kavanaugh, I think was the confirmed. Well, now we were not really even sure if it was confirmed.
That's what we were discussing. Like, we were like, what can we talk about this week? And there's not much juicy stuff out right now. It'll probably drop tomorrow. But we were like, who do you think that this is an actual? Well, because we saw the Wheel of Time. That's what it was. We saw the Wheel of Time
characters.
Like 6 actors have been confirmed as cast in roles, big roles in that series, and it's also an Amazon show. And so we were like, we've only heard of this one Australian actor being cast, and we were unsure of who she'll be. Is it real? Well, and then the name they give for the character, Tyra, I'm guessing, isn't within the Tolkien lore anywhere. It's sort of an invented character, a la Tariel, or is that just a front so that we don't know who she's really going to play?
Yeah. Because you had mentioned Galadriel, and I was like, wow, that's actually interesting to think if we followed her a little bit. But I was even thinking like in Game of Thrones, you don't really have a like one character that is your protagonist. You're able to jump around to different regions, which you'd have to do in the Second Age, kind of.
And let's take a look at both film trilogies. It's the same way too. We're all over the place. Yeah,
it's a good point.
And I think this is part of what it is. We see the Fellowship as one character.
Okay.
It's nine individuals, but we see that as one unit. Mm-hmm. And I think we think in our heads, well, we don't ever really leave them. We're always with a chunk of the Fellowship, right? Yeah. Just splintered and in different places. But really, that's 8. When after Boromir falls, that's 8 characters we're bouncing in between. Plus, the characters that they interact with in the new regions as well.
Sure.
Plus getting a glimpse of what Mordor is doing and Isengard. And so I think it's maybe, I don't know, it's funny to think that they've been jumping around all along. It won't really be new. I think it's because for the most part, it'll be totally new characters.
Yeah.
And maybe that's part of why it's, I don't know.
Well, we're trying to figure out the lens.
Right now, it feels like it'll be,
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about lenses today. But, but we're trying to figure out, like, how are we going to see through, how are we going to see this TV show, like, through, which of our characters' eyes.
Point of view. And
all that kind of stuff. So, I think that's interesting. My question is, how is it that Amazon is moving this quickly with the Wheel of Time stuff? Is it the Tolkien estate? Is that what slows things down a little bit?
That's a really good question.
Because I haven't heard nearly. Well, I haven't been following it maybe as closely, but I'm a huge Wheel of Time fan.
And I think at least the announcement of the project's Wheel of Time was after the Lord of the Ring, LOTR on Prime.
That's what I thought.
So yeah, it could be the Tolkien estate. It could be maybe they since Wheel of Time has it ever been brought to this kind of
nope.
What's it called?
TV, film?
Yeah, this level of exposure. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Here's a lens, camera term.
There you go.
But maybe because Lord of the Rings is so, Wheel of Time is, like I said, hasn't been exposed as much, so maybe there's less pressure. Okay. And maybe there's more, is it the Tolkien estate? Is it the amount of pressure to get it right?
There's nothing to compare it to, so you really are just sort of like, whoever's in charge of that, go with it. Right. And let's see what you.
Right.
Yeah. So it could be.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a good question. I just thought, I was like, man, they're really, like, the fact that they have like, we've got 5 to 6 cast members already, and we only have got the one that's not even confirmed or anything crazy. It's
pretty nuts.
Yeah,
I know. So, or are they confirmed already and they're just not releasing them to us?
Oh, sure. There's probably that's maybe they're just keeping everything real close to the chest
because they're supposed to be filming like nowish.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Originally,
that's what I thought.
So they are. They're just not telling us. Keep it secret. Huh. Keep it safe. Listening to the words of Gandalf, I guess. But whatever. Right. I guess he's wise or something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But anyway, we love the conversations you guys are having in the Facebook group, and we get emails about ideas and theories and stuff. It's an exciting time to be a fan of the world of Middle Earth.
Yeah.
Again, the Tolkien biopic. It's probably one of the last times we'll really talk about it. I guess it's out there, and wow, that's really sad. It's out there.
As you said, it's glorious.
It is.
It's
oh
awesome.
My gosh, it's amazing. So
my dad wants to see it really bad. I have not had a chance to show it to him.
Yeah.
I got to go out there and buy it.
Got to.
So
get on Amazon, baby.
Yep.
Be here tomorrow. It's just an amazing film. Like I can't. I want to meet Dome. I want to talk to Dome. I'd love to talk to Lily Collins.
We have an invite.
I'd love to talk to Nicholas Hoult. I mean, and I wish it had more exposure. I'd like for the quality of film. I can't believe it isn't more. I don't know. It hasn't been more widely released or talked about. It's just that part's kind of a shame. But you know what? It's a nice little secret that we all know about and we can spread and share.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
That's kind of cool. So a studio update. Throw down your plow and hoe. We have electricity for the most part. We have our electrical lines all laid. A trench may or may not have been dug. I don't know. I can't confirm or deny because I
definitely
didn't obtain there's no permit obtained. So all
right.
Is that on record now?
You said it.
We're gonna have to black that one out. Let's get that out of here.
Oh man.
So we kind of repaired the Rama Sakura as well. In the meantime, it's crazy, man. It's stuff you uncover about your house when you do projects.
Oh yeah.
There was a big old chunk of plywood leading into our basement under the house, and there was some sign of old termite damage as well. Mm-hmm. So Kevin McKeegan, Superman that he is, swept in, and he's kind of elven, isn't he?
Yeah.
Totally.
You think so?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Nate's saying yes too. He's very elven. High elven, I think. His knowledge is crazy. I also had a broken wheelbarrow in the yard. He was like, "Lane, can we use that thing?" I was like, "It's busted. It's busted." It's like, "What do you mean?"
Right.
Like, it's broken. It's been sitting out and it's all falling apart. He goes,
"Right.
What do you mean broken?" I said, "Kevin, it's not gonna run again. I said, it's a broken wheelbarrow.
Right.
Let it be, Kev.
Yeah,
Kev's like, let me take a look at it. 10 minutes later, functional wheelbarrow.
Yeah. When I got there, I saw you guys using it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, did you see us, though?
Not necessarily. I heard the wheelbarrow going past, and someone said, "Get the wheelbarrow." So,
So anyway, the what was I even talking about?
the update on the studio.
Yes,
Electricity.
Electricity's out there. So we were able to repair something within the house as well, which is kind of cool.
Right.
Re-bricked an area and did some mortar on it, which is really nice. So, yeah, it's cool. The box is out there ready to go. The Romex is in place. We just have to run some more wiring. Next step is getting the insulation in, doing some drywall. The goal is to have it kind of roughed out by the party, so that when you guys show up, you're able to see where your support has gone. And it's been great. We were talking about it today. It seems like some of that stuff, when they were saying, yeah, we might have to dig a trench out here and run electric, I was like, we're going to run into problems.
Right. There's going to be some hiccup.
It's gonna, and it's like that part is done.
It's done.
Like the walls are up.
They're up. Yep. Exactly.
Like I don't know.
We figured out a
never
solution
been able to build anything.
Right. We got a solution for the garage doors. We have a great solution for that.
Yeah. It's just, it's all coming together.
Yep. And actually, when you say roughed out, I'm actually thinking even a little bit more. I'm thinking use all materials we have bought, and they're going to be used.
Yeah.
Like as in like the floor, the trim. So that's my
the trusses, the horizontal studs,
right? The knobs.
Nate, you know all about those, man.
Oh yeah.
Can't find them anywhere at Lowe's though.
And they just won't help you find them. They're so rude.
They like laugh at you and walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like wait, serious question.
How are they?
Dude, hey, by the way,
can you imagine if one of those Lowe's employees were actually like, come to think of it, I don't know where those are.
I don't know. Yeah,
they might be in aisle 45.
Yeah.
Actually, let's go on down there and look.
Was Nate there when you took the tape measure in?
Yeah.
Were you there for
that?
Yeah. Everything. Nothing was up to code.
It's not to code.
Nothing was up to code in there. I mean, Lane was
not
there.
Standard industry.
I mean, he walked in
standard.
like even the doors as you walk in, right? He's measuring those. Like, guys, it's just not right. Something's not right. It's supposed to be standard, 5 point whatever.
What an annoying human being. Yeah. So it's coming together. It's wild. It's crazy. The party is also almost upon us. We're 3 weeks out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
3
weeks from
exactly
today
to the day.
So
holy cow.
Yeah. It's hitting us. It's hitting us heavy. We have a pretty good idea of what we're going to do for food now, which is really exciting. We've got an event or kind of a get together, a meet up, if you will, on the Friday night before, and then sort of an outing for Sunday morning, all in line. So all the agenda is coming together. We know relatively who's going to be there. It's going to be amazing. Hopefully the weather's beautiful, and we'll just celebrate like hobbits, as only hobbits can in the Shire. Poll results from last week. We talked about this a lot last episode, and we want to know how you felt about the Tolkien estate's involvement in LOTR on Prime. This was overwhelmingly one-sided. 93% said love it. 7% said not really a huge fan. 147%.
147.
Horton here's who. 147 of you voted. And so it's a good thing, I think. Overwhelmingly, we think that this will help produce a better show. I did want to. Nate was working on the cameras there when we were talking about, but I wanted to know his thoughts on show development. How do you feel about the show? Who would you like it to focus on? Is there a direction a wish list you have for the Second Age?
I mean, if I could just focus in on anything going on throughout the entire area, I've always been more interested in the lore of the wizards. I've always been more interested in that. That's the inner nerd talking. Dude,
you guys are really similar.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, man.
I just wanted, if they could just dig so far into the lore for that would be everything for me.
We've gotten a lot of surface level so far with wizards, right? We haven't really had an intimate look at
well, yeah, and so here's something with the wizards. It's like, at what point, when they enter, right? I think it's near the Third Age, right? Is when they come in, I think. But it's why did they need to show up? Like, what was the conversation going on beforehand. What is the lore, right? Like, that's really interesting. And I wonder if we're going to get some of the like Maiar, Valar kind of influences and things like that. Like,
we haven't really talked about that, have we?
No,
we've been focusing on these like groups of not people. Elves aren't really, you know what I mean? But familiar groups.
You almost say elves aren't. There are some people on Discord right now that are going
elves aren't men.
Okay.
Is what I meant. Okay. So, but these different races we're familiar with, groups of people.
Yes.
Okay.
I hear you.
That we're familiar with.
Yep.
And we haven't really talked about some of those more elevated beings, I guess.
Right.
Ethereal.
Exactly. Which is what I'm thinking, that there may be some.
It'd be really cool to see too.
To have some conversation or to have some almost like foreshadowing of like a need for them to come into play, right? Or
there'll probably be a shirt now that says elves are people too.
I guarantee Phil or somebody, Sheriston's working on it. Somebody,
Patreon.
That's definitely trending on Twitter. Hashtag elves are people too.
Yeah, great. Way to go.
Unless you're Lane Smith.
Oh my gosh. So that's neat. And then that's like,
cool. Yeah, I like that.
So because we're thinking, what are your thoughts on like Sauron? I mean, he's going to be right, big deal. How do you do that? How do you?
Yeah. How would you like to see it done?
The
rise of Sauron into power. But, at the end of the first age, there's just sort of this void, right? Because Morgoth has been banished, and
they can't really talk about the first age, which is nuts.
Right. I know. I think it's gonna leave a lot of the context up to like people to read or fill in or them do later. I guess I don't know.
Because Lane's idea, we were talking about this last episode, to kind of have a little montage or something at the start, or just
a prelude,
something.
Oh, yeah, that'd work real well.
And it's like I would love to see
the end of the War of Wrath, or that kind of abbreviated, and that you can always expand it later on. But it would be like how you get the Last Alliance at the beginning of Lord of the Rings, right? And it puts it into like you get some of that backstory that builds up into the Third Age, and then you're able to, I don't know, it gives a little more backstory and is helpful and more meaning when you meet Elrond, right? To know that he was there when those events happened, stuff like that. I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that. But how would you like to see Sauron's rise? More mysterious, or would you like a more like behind the scenes look? Them kind of explore that, or
I would want to get more into what sort of framed him to become. At the start of the film trilogy and the book trilogy for where we all began here. I think that getting his perspective and understanding where he came from, what his mission set was, where he came from.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say humanizing him, because that is almost impossible.
Sure.
He's the embodiment of evil. But it didn't necessarily start out that way. And it's crazy. I'll dig into the Silmarillion for like 5 times a year, and I just do that, and it's always been interesting to me to kind of see the world shaping that book can do.
Yeah.
And I think that this series has an opportunity now to do the same thing, but for people who especially are just cinematically prone. I think that'll definitely speak to that audience, but I think they're going to get more of the book reading audience than maybe they anticipated with this. Especially as everything sort of wraps up, and the Tolkien movie just came out, and that I think that the fans of the entire saga are just going to start to pour in for this. I don't think they realize how many people are actually leaning in and just waiting for something to either go phenomenal or horrible.
And that's a good point. I think, and even with that, that's a great. I didn't even think about that. Like, especially with the Tolkien estate's involvement too, you might even have more of those people who are hardcore into the literature that weren't really fans of the movies, who are going to be ready to go with this show. Like, they might be more excited and anticipating this show more than they did the films necessarily.
Well, yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you had said so,
because you'll always get the people who love the films. Yep. You'll always get us, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
But people who weren't such fans of how it may have been executed, or maybe didn't like The Hobbit versus Lord of the Rings, or the opposite, Lord of the Rings versus The Hobbit, who are heavy into the stories, right? That will be excited by this.
Two things. So for some time, the Tolkien professor, Corey Olson, who we were talking about earlier, today you and I were talking about what a great guy he is, and he's pretty, just a cool dude.
Yeah.
Like, has been running for fun, sort of a how you would turn the Silmarillion just itself, which I know covers, a vast amount of time.
Yeah.
But how you, right? I mean, that's an understatement. But how you would turn that into either a TV show or into movies, and they were doing that for quite a while. That's been a while ago. Yeah. Now it's. I think now maybe he may be gearing up for something else, talking about the show. So he's a great resource.
Yeah.
So people like him are super amped and believe that it can be done. And then you've got those same folks who would be happy, I think, to hear that Tom Shippey is involved in this and is trying to keep everything real, keep it real Tolkien, I guess. So
keen to Tolk.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. Well, thanks, Nate. That's really good insight. It's so cool to talk about this because everyone, comes at it from a different lens, has different ideas, and we know that everyone at LOTR on Prime is listening. So they're getting
that's true.
bi-monthly updates from the Pulse.
Yeah, they are. The Pulse is here. The Pulse is here.
We're the Pulse.
It's you guys. Okay.
Yeah. Uppers unite.
I can actually point to a camera now and say,
"It's you."
That's you. Ah, goodness.
Into the reread, my friend.
Yes, on to the reread. Here we go. So, wow, we are in Chapter VII, the Pyre of Denethor. Now, this is it's not a long chapter.
No, it's not.
Which is fine, but it's serious. Like the tone. I mean, there's some real serious stuff going on.
I don't know if it was because you reflect on your birthday. I don't know if that's what it was, or if it's just this time of year, or who I am now in my life. But I got sucked into this chapter that I never have in any other moment in my life. I've always kind of gone, oh yeah, Denethor's gone, whatever, big deal.
Yeah.
I found myself with Gandalf trying to reason with Denethor, dude, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, don't listen to those lies.
Right.
Like listen to what you're saying. There's still time for you to save this, to turn back, to realize that there is hope still for us.
I know.
It broke my heart. Like, this chapter broke my heart.
And I'm surprised. I actually didn't. And I'm not trying to take away from anything that you said, but I have always been of that mindset when it comes to Denethor. I'm just I thought it was cool when we first had the big back and forth. He and Gandalf having their little debates and almost like a battle of knowledge and wit and all that kind of stuff.
Almost kind of equally matched.
Yeah, which was pretty cool. So I was
at least through Pippin's eyes, right?
Yeah, I was like, Denethor just went up a notch or two, in my mind. But in this chapter, I mean, it was weird. Really, what I took away from it was Gandalf realizing that there was an enemy within that he had to fight, that no one else could see necessarily. So now that was what I mean. Again, I always focus in on Gandalf, and I love my boy Gandalf, right? But that's what it was, right? Those inner. We had demons outside that we could see, smell, touch. We were fighting, but there were some major demons on the inside that we were fighting. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, not to go, but that's what it was, right?
Well, and Gandalf has this moment too at the end where he's almost kind of. I don't know if. I think it just says he's deep in thought, right? And he's silent. He's thinking about everything that's transpired, but it's almost like he's not broken. So please don't take that the wrong way. But he feels, I don't know, for lack of vocabulary in my own little pea-sized brain, he feels broken in that moment. He's like, this is something that I thought may have been going on, and the confirmation of it hurts more.
Yep.
Than just that idea that maybe, realizing actually it was, and we might not even know the effects of the damage yet. Well, it doesn't end with this day.
Yeah,
the echoes will continue and the ripples will spread, and we'll see what this inner damage could possibly do.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, that would be. It's interesting to see him in that state, right? Almost kind of paralyzed by what had happened. The battle is still raging down on the fields of Pelennor, and he's up there just kind of taking a second to reflect.
Yeah, like it's almost like this battle took a great toll on. He really felt it. Yeah. And something that Nate had mentioned earlier, like talking about why we were talking about, like just wondering why the Astari and the wizards were sent here. Yeah. And this is one of the things that they were sent to. I mean, this is they're helping. They're supposed to aid and help men, right, in their struggle against Sauron. Yeah. And for him to know that was kind of like that's his driving force. That was their agenda, right?
And this happened.
And for him to be outmaneuvered in that way, I think probably hurt, right? So, and just to jump into, I'm going to jump into a summary so we can get this all out, and then keep talking. And I like this because I want folks to understand what we're talking about. We're talking about
slow you down, bro.
Thank you. Okay.
I'll do a little commercial.
Hey, oh my! Baby, bye, bye, bye. We got to be careful about that now, right? We're gonna get flagged.
I'll do it for free. I'll do it for free.
You get flagged on
demonetized.
Exactly. So, just in summary, we switch back to Pippin's perspective, and the Witch King has disappeared from the gate. Last time we were there, we saw the Witch King, the Black Captain, facing down Gandalf. Wow, and the horns that sounded. That's sort of something that our hobbits will never forget that we're there, and to see that call is really what took our Witch King, our Black Captain away, and Gandalf is sort of left there, right? Yep. Now, Pippin is on this urgent errand to get Gandalf's attention because Denethor's madness that is causing. He's wreaking havoc inside the city in a major way. It's like it's not affecting a lot of people, but it's affecting significant people, right? And
the impact is just as great.
The impact is
just as great.
It's just as great because it's so big that there may not be like it disturbs the transition of power.
Well, and even Gandalf says that it turns friend against friend.
Yes,
it's not happening down on the battlefield.
Right.
Like up here, you have men who have all vowed to protect the king against one another.
Yep. Baragon, right, was fighting those men who were loyal to Denethor.
Right.
And boy, did Gandalf have some words.
Thank God he did.
For them. Yeah. And the crazy thing is, both sides were fighting for what they believed was the right thing.
And he talks about how that's to the delight of Sauron.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, so Gandalf did wish to pursue. I mean, he wanted to go after the Nazgul, but Faramir, his life is hanging in the balance here. Yeah. So they race back up to the Citadel. Gandalf is there, and he's able to perceive, I guess, the evil that's happening and the discord that's going on there in Minas Tirith. So he reaches the door to the House of the Stewards. The two found Denethor's servants bearing swords and torches standing before the lone figure of Baragon. Yeah. And we'll come back to that because it's crazy. Yeah. Right. Two servants had already fallen to Baragon's sword. So it's real serious.
I like that name, Baragorn. Serious. I might use that for D&D if I ever get into it.
There you go. You're welcome.
Or Earacorn.
Ear of corn. Nah,
maybe.
Nah, I don't think that's going to
fly. Good podcast name.
That was a really good podcast name. Save that. So yeah, these men. Gandalf again. When he comes in and he's got, just this spirit about him, right? This light, this energy, especially when he's angry.
Almost youthfulness too.
Yeah, too.
The way he moves and everything.
Gosh, the way he springs up on the table and the pyre and everything.
Pippin's like blown away.
Wild.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, you're right. There's an anger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tolkien, he specifically says that, and it's interesting because we haven't seen. He doesn't get angry very easily. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if he is angry, it's for a good for a good reason.
For sure.
Yeah.
So now, as they're up there, Denethor threw open the door, drawing his sword, but Gandalf lifted his hand, and the sword flies away out of his grip.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. So, the wizard kind of basically at first subdues his madness a little bit, right? The steward said that Faramir had already burned. Rushing past, Gandalf found Faramir still alive in the funeral pyre. To Denethor's protest and tears, Gandalf lifted Faramir and carried him away with a strength that surprised Pippin, as you said. Denethor, the wizard said, did not have the authority to order Faramir's death. And this is where it gets a little spooky. I mean, because after that, we see a different side to Denethor sort of come out. It's almost like he is possessed, and there is two sides. Yeah. Here's something we hadn't seen, which is him laughing and going mad, really. The madness is coming out. We're seeing it. So, standing proudly, he produced from his cloak a Palantir similar to the Orthanc stone, right? He warned that the West was doomed, and he had foreseen the black ships of the enemy approaching. That's what's crazy, too, right? Yeah. And Pippin, I mean, later on, the next chapter, I think it is, we'll get a reference back to that and what Pippin thought it was, I think. Or Merry, one of the two. No, it was Pippin. Yeah. It was Pippin. So, anyways, real interesting what he sees there. It's interesting that he sees that. Yeah. And was he led to see that? Like what? Did he just not understand what he saw? So think about that for a second. Yeah. Because if the enemy saw that, if Sauron saw that, wouldn't he try to counter it? Right? I mean, like if he saw that Aragorn was taking possession of those ships and that he was another threat? Or am I, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, so what did Denethor? Did Denethor just see the ships though?
That's what I'm saying. Is that all he saw?
That's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming that's all he saw because did Sauron even know yet? And
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, when was it shown? Yeah, I'm thinking it was just like this. There's an unknown force you don't know about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here you go. And just seeing those black sails, he would probably know where those Corsairs are from, and
actually both of them. So even if Sauron was leading him or guiding him in some way to see something awful like that coming. Yeah. Sauron has that's what is supposed in his mind. Exactly. That's what's supposed to be coming. Exactly. Yeah. But there's the Okay. Right. Awesome.
Well, and then I guess if you want to go on a deeper level, even if somehow Denethor knew who had taken over those Corsairs, that's bad news for him too.
Well, that's exactly what.
It's not as bad news, but it's still bad news because he goes on to talk about that.
He does.
You know,
he condemns
being supplanted by
for bringing.
It's all bad news for him.
Yep.
He doesn't see, and that's the whole point, isn't it? He's
forgotten.
I can't wait to talk about this.
He's forgotten what his role is as steward. Really.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So as you say, it kind of brings this young upstart ranger to replace him as a ruler. So anyways, let's. Yeah. I think that's pretty much where we can kind of stop, and we'll get into the rest of this because there's some cool stuff that happens at the end.
Yeah, super good. Super good.
Man, all right. So this, as we mentioned in the summary, Pippin is on an air and he says Gandalf, right? And he's crying to him. Shadowfax halted, which is interesting. Wonder if, right?
It's not Gandalf didn't stop him.
Shadowfax. Yeah.
Like Gandalf was probably so focused on the Witch King, right? He might not even heard Pippin.
Yeah.
And it's our Lord of all horses who hears our Hobbit. The connection again between animal and Hobbit and just the importance of animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pretty cool.
Exactly.
I love that. Yeah.
What's cool is Shadowfax. I mean, even in the next chapter too, plays a role. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. It's amazing.
So. But what's interesting when Gandalf looks back, he realizes that Pippin is here, and this is not where Pippin's supposed to be. Right. He's sworn to be, up there next to his lord and near the citadel and what have you. So he is a little shocked that he's here. It is not the law of the city that those who wear the black and silver must stay, or is it not the law, right, that they must stay in the citadel unless their lord gives them leave? And Pippin says that he sent me away.
And that he's out of his mind.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
You're right. He's frightened for sure. Saying that he's afraid that he will kill himself and kill Faramir as well. Can't you do something? And that's a question. What all can Gandalf do? How much is Gandalf responsible for? Because again, for someone with his power and all of his insight, this is a tricky situation because Gandalf is torn, right? He's going to let the Black Captain, the Nazgul, the Witch King, head out there with other individuals who are not as powerful as he is. Right. This is, everyone thinks this is supposed to be his great test, right? This is going to be another. Now that he is Gandalf the White, he already faced his great test as Gandalf the Grey. He's been sent back
Yeah.
You know, here he is. This is going to be his great test. But when you think about it, his great test, we said at the top of the reread, his great test is going to be how he assists and how he aids men in their fight against Sauron. So what does he do, right? Does he go out there and face down one of his captains? Or does he go up and take care of, Sauron himself and fight him up in the Citadel where he's right?
Yeah.
That's his struggle. And so he is he decides, because he says, Gandalf right here, look through the gate, and already in the fields he heard the gathering sounds of battle. He clenched his hand. I must go, he said. The Black Rider is abroad, and he will yet bring ruin on us. I have no time. But Faramir, he's not dead, and they will burn him alive if someone does not stop them. Burn him alive? What is this tale? Be quick.
Yeah.
So if Pippin doesn't show up here and doesn't mention what's going on,
right?
I mean, so again, I keep referring to the next chapter, but even then, like Gandalf and everyone else realizes what a big deal it is that Pippin and Merry were there and playing the roles that they played. Huge.
Yeah.
So,
and also just him kind of detailing like what kill himself and kill Faramir is already said before, and he could have thought, maybe Pippin's just overreacting, right? No, I have details. I know for a fact that he is in the process of killing Faramir.
Yeah.
Before his time.
Right.
And just that reality and that detail is something that informs Gandalf. And again, like you're talking about the great test of Gandalf, right? And I was even thinking in this whole chapter, another great test that he passes is his loyalty to wisdom.
Yep.
He's constantly wise. Even in the way he deals with Denethor. Like the patience that he gives Denethor. Wise. He's not a rash.
No.
He's very Entish that way, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he knows the right way to do everything.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's unreal.
Because at first read, you're almost like, man, I wish I would have loved to seen Gandalf right out there and just swing his staff around, just boom, just blow out all sorts.
That's what you're expecting. You're expecting
a
big clash battle.
Right.
Not the battle for the soul of.
Well, yeah. And then how one person can matter, right? How much strength can lie in this family of stewards.
Yeah.
And really seeing long, I guess, being able to see further. They often talk about Denethor and Aragorn and these other characters, Faramir, being able to have that far sight. And Gandalf truly has that. He's able to see that this is needed. So there's going to be loss either way he goes. So which battle do you pick here?
Right.
But Pippin gives him the summary that he told Baragon, right? To be on his guard and to help out in any way that he could. Right. So let's see. So Pippin poured out his tale, reaching up and touching Gandalf's knee with a trembling hand. Can't you save Faramir? Can't you save him?
And again, too, man, you've got, I don't know, like you talked about the importance of Merry last chapter, the importance of Pippin here, and how it's this Hobbit. It's so funny how many times like Gandalf went to the hobbits to wake something up Tookish inside of them, or ask them for help, or plea with them to do something that only hobbits could do. And here you have a hobbit pleading with a wizard, and motivating him and giving him the information he needs, and maybe even the motion he needs to stay true to wisdom and do something only he can do.
Can't you do something?
And he's got to be, like you said, Gandalf has to be thinking the same thing. Can I do something? Where, and like you said, there's going to be losses either way. Where am I needed most?
Right. Well, I mean, exactly. It's like, yes, he can do many things, but what can he do that others can't do? And what was he sent here to do?
Right.
So, I think that's.
And he's also thinking in the back of his mind too, right? Like, Aragorn's still out there. It'll be a long time before he gets to the top of Minas Tirith. I mean, like basic Butterbur level thinking here is. He's got that in the back of his mind too. That Aragorn is still out there. That hope is still there. Who knows when he'll be coming, and he'll come through the battlefield. So that is yet before them, and that's going to take a lot longer, probably than this. What's going on up at, in the what is it, the tomb, area with the pyre. So
Well, so here we go. So Gandalf's answer is that maybe I can, but if I do, others will die. That there'll be great death either way, as we said.
Yep.
He says, but I must come since no other help can reach them, and evil and sorrow will come of this. Even in the heart of our stronghold, the enemy has power to strike us, for his will it is that is at work. So this is something that's been long planned.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, you think about the access that Denethor has had, and how many times maybe he's used the Palantir, and how many times he's been trying to. Oh gosh, I mean, I'm sure at first, right? Anyone's use of that would be he has good intentions, and also in his defense, he doesn't see a return of the king. We haven't seen it for years.
No.
Why should he believe that one is coming?
Learn later on, even the very fact that a king would return, he despises the line of Isildur. Mm-hmm. He doesn't care. Like that to him is just going to be another letdown, another downfall.
Right.
And we also learned that for a long time he didn't use it.
That's true.
He knew of it and he didn't use it.
That
and
is
then
true.
It was
it's a secret.
Yeah.
Air quote secret.
Right. And then he vowed he never would. Kind of a yeah, right. It was kept only to their knowledge that this was even available to them, and for a long time he was faithful and didn't use it, and that's what makes this what happens at the end all that more tragic. Is you see that like Denethor was, I don't know. I think in the films we get a very abbreviated, easy to hate character. He's a crazy nut job who has issues with, like showing his son's love equally, and here we get such a more fleshed out character with a deeper backstory that makes him more pitiable, almost a character you're rooting for.
Yeah,
like to come back.
Yep, agreed.
Right? That's why books are always better, right?
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
So,
yeah, he's making his decision, and as he starts to, we hear the men of Rohan are there, right? Everyone's, very pumped and excited. There's a new energy about them. Prince Imrahil is excited and is trying to get Gandalf, right, to gather their strength and basically to go out and support. Yeah. Right, the Rohirrim.
Yeah.
And
so which
King,
also
King
helps his decision making too, doesn't it? Yeah.
It does.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll need many men and more, I think is what he says.
Yeah.
Right? It's just every man and more. So So he decides to But I have an errand to Lord Denethor that will not wait. Take command in the Lord's absence. And that's something Prince Imrahil actually takes charge for quite a while.
Yeah.
So this chapter and next, I think, is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
He is a big deal.
I
love him.
Yeah, he's a boss. I see why people love him, and he can be one of
and his knights and stuff, and just like they inspire. Even though they weren't as many in number, coming from Dal Amroth as we thought, they super inspire us.
Big time.
So
big time.
Okay, but now Gandalf has to ascend up to the citadel there, and we know that darkness, right, evil lay before them.
And despite this whole almost hope that Middle Earth is showing, the glimmer of the morning and the light of the sun, right, which we remember from the Battle of Pelennor, we catch a glimpse of that as well.
That's right.
The riders, the light starts to shine through and break through the darkness, and even though this is happening, Gandalf says darkness is passing, but it still lies heavy on this city. Yeah, so literal darkness is sort of. It's breaking a bit, but there's an unseen darkness that is here, very real. We got to go deal with it.
It's also interesting in this chapter, right, that we know almost the end of the battle and what happens, right?
Right.
And what happens to the Black Captain, but then we flash back here too.
Right, and isn't it? I want to talk about that at some point. So like Tolkien obviously put this, he obviously decided the order intentionally, right? Mm-hmm. And I think he's doing something here that, because you would think, you put this one before, what happens here isn't as important. It's all about what happens out on the battlefield. But really what he's doing is he's showing that moment at the end with Gandalf is so much more powerful because we see that this really was a big deal. This was as big of a deal as the battle.
Yep.
Right? This inner turmoil, this like corruption and the lies that Denethor was fed and then chose to believe is as big of a deal as a battlefield where thousands and thousands and thousands do wage war.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, exactly. And maybe even, because I like what you said there, but to take it to a small, well, to hone in on something here, this line of stewards, this family, is about to end. Yeah. And it's a really important line, and they're great leaders.
Right.
And so they've been in charge of the city, and this is again kind of, I'm jumping ahead here, but like it's very important to Aragorn later on that the transition be done right. That this be set up the right way and everything. That's actually why.
And that they're still around, but their role is more in the
exactly.
A different role.
A different role. But for a while, and again, I think it's relevant, so I'm gonna do it. Like Prince Imrahil is actually in charge because, I mean, it's just crazy. Like the return of the king is it's such an important thing, and it has to be done in such a manner. And it's interesting how Aragorn does it. So I can't wait to talk about that later, because he's so sensitive to the return and to the people who are there and those who have been in power and who have been running Gondor. That it's that's why he is who he is. He is who he is, and that's why he's king. So. But yeah, as they run up the stairs here, and as they head up to the citadel, they find no guard. Pippin is hopeful that Baragon has gone and is doing what he told him to do and trying to protect Faramir.
Yeah.
But when they get there, they realize that there's one of the guards is slain, and the gate is open. And this is the line that we were talking about.
The key was taken as well.
Yeah. Work of the enemy, Gandalf says. Such deeds he loves. Friend at war with friend. Loyalty divided in confusion of hearts.
Yeah.
So that's what we're battling.
Yep.
In here. So now he dismounted and bade the Shadowfax return to his stable. For my friend, he said, you and I should have ridden to the fields long ago, but other matters delay me. Yet come swiftly if I call.
Yeah.
So off goes Shadowfax. They head. Let's see. So we move in a little while here, and we're heading into what will be the steward's house, essentially, and into the citadel. Suddenly, the silence was broken, and they heard below them cries and the ringing of swords, such sounds as had not been heard in the hallowed places since the building of the city. Wow. So the war that's raging, I think, right? And some of the the war within and the war without. You imagine the sound that was causing. So
I love too, just before that too, the imagery of talking about as the light grows, the tall columns and carven figures beside the way went slowly by like gray ghosts. Just what you were talking about too, that fading of an old way and a new redemption, a new order is about to be put into place too. Fading away like gray ghosts. Just that little subtle. He didn't have to say any of that, right? But that even just the world they're in is reflecting what's about to happen.
That's layers, man.
It is layers, bro.
Tolkien, that is just layers.
Like made of onions. Good old onion stew.
Yeah, the Tolkien Onion podcast. Here we go.
I'm sorry, I got you. Yeah,
no, you're fine. You're fine. So the servants of Denethor.
That's what I just said.
You did. We're there with their torches. This is where we see Baragorn. Third time I've said it. Baragon. Clad in black and silver, the citadel. He held the door against them. 2 already had fallen to his sword.
You say the third time you said it?
I think it's the second or third time I've said it.
Okay. Just be careful. 3, there's power there.
There's power in 3.
All right, okay.
Watch out now. Watch out.
3's company. Gandalf does say stay 3 times, right? To stay the madness.
Good catch. I like that.
There's strength in that number, man, you know?
Yeah.
Man, it's just can you imagine like walking in to see what they see too?
Well, yeah, you have. I mean, at this point too, Denethor has busted out, and he's basically commanding that his servants slay this renegade. And to take him down. I mean, it's just complete madness.
Yeah, it is.
So and the confusion there. I mean, it's just such a. I mean, even for when Pippin was leaving and talking to. Almost did it again.
Baragon.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it a third time. Not that quick. I don't want to wait till later on. You know what I'm saying?
Is that Shadowfax?
But when he said like when he's talking to him, it's tough. They don't know. He doesn't know what to do here. You listen to a halfling or to a hobbit.
Yeah.
All of them love Faramir, and I think they know sort of the character, the nature of Denethor and Faramir.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
even Boromir. So
Right.
if there's a chance to save Faramir, that's huge. That's
Right.
that's the future of your city.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the reasons why. Because Baragon. Now I can't. Now I'm thinking about it too much. Baragon.
It's pronounced Barahan.
Hanberry Han, baby. Baragon is. He'll go down as the person who saves Faramir.
Yeah.
Really.
Yep.
Without him, he would. And
Yeah.
So he's a big
Gandalf
deal.
makes that very clear.
Yeah. What is this, my lord? Said the wizard. The houses of the dead are no place for the living. Why do men fight here in the Hallows when there is war enough before the gate? Or has our enemy come even to Rothdinan? I said
I
that.
think so, Dina. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it cool? So we go back to that when Denethor's sword was thrown from his hand from Gandalf. That's like a force push, dude.
Yeah. Did I miss that?
Isn't that wild? I think it was the last paragraph.
Ah, yes.
But isn't that crazy? That's why you love him so much. He uses the force, bro.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he even? What's the gesture that Gandalf makes? Does he do anything? He lifted
Comes
up his
in like
hand.
a white light. Yeah, lifted his hand, and in the very stroke. Yeah, just lifting up his hand.
So that's all he does.
It's a force push, bro. It's a force push.
Boom.
Was
Gone.
there lightning?
No.
No, not from
not
him.
with Gandalf. No.
But great anger. I love that. How he
Although
puts that in there.
there was lightning in the Fellowship.
Yeah, there
Remember
was.
that? On Weathertop.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And in the films when he's battling the Balrog.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So maybe.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah, sorry.
That's fine. People can now see exactly what's happening when we get off track.
It's my fault.
It's great. It's Nate's fault, actually. To be honest, it's Nate's fault. So
That's fair.
Yeah, that's all right. Thank you.
It's merely fair.
Wow. That was good. Okay.
That was stupid, actually, but
No,
okay.
name
We're
your
here.
podcast.
Let me get us back on track.
Go
here.
for it.
I don't even know how to do this part. I only do this and further up. Oh my gosh! This line that the wizard has here, that Gandalf has. What is this, my lord? The houses of the dead are no places for the living. Yeah. Houses of the dead are no place for the living. And later on, we learn about this place where Faramir will be taken, houses of healing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Just an interesting play on the houses of dead and the houses of healing, and what is happening here.
Faramir's not in the right place.
Right.
He's not in the right place.
Right.
And that's an issue. There's an argument about whether he can command his own servants and that kind of stuff. And as we said in the summary, you cannot command or order Faramir's death.
Right.
That's not something that you can do.
Right.
That's
Within
not.
his-
So
yeah.
I mean, Denethor could go on to argue otherwise, but it just goes against the morals are the laws of man. I mean, that's just it's just not.
Yeah.
So he's there to kind of protect him. He says, "Where is your son Faramir? He lies within, already burning. They have set a fire. Set a fire in his flesh, but soon all shall be burned. The west has failed. It shall all go up in a great fire, and all shall be ended. Ash and smoke, blown away on the wind." So he is not seeing any hope. We've been talking about hope for 2 chapters now.
I know we have.
And why can't Denethor see
really,
it?
this entire book, this Return of the King, the hope again.
Sure.
No hope. Where is our hope? Hope is coming. Just all this, also too, I think about how Denethor's vision and judgment has been clouded, and all of this. There's ash. We just read about shadows, gray, smoke, all of these things that disturb any kind of clear vision at all, too, right? Just that imagery of destruction. I mean, he's using it as destruction here, but I'm thinking like he's not seeing clearly. He is being influenced. He's being like fed these lies, and he's buying into it.
Yeah.
It's sad, dude.
Well, here we talked about him being
feeds the madness.
Yeah, and we talked about the possession that's happening and what's going on.
Yeah.
It says that Denethor is kind of walking in like a trance. So Gandalf will push through here, right? And we see this spryness or something, right? We see this. He's really
strength that lay hid.
And why does it keep mentioning? I can't remember like that. There's this gray mantle about him.
Yeah,
he's not Gandalf the Grey anymore.
I know.
But is he cloaking himself in some way, or what's going on?
Maybe.
I just have noticed that the last couple of times that I don't remember.
And then if you remember, he still has that kind of grayish, in the films anyway, he still kind of has like a grayish cloak that he has. I don't know. That's an interesting point, isn't it?
They keep bringing it up, and I've seen it multiple times. It's almost
or is that just like more of an air about him? Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's interesting to me because I'm like, why is he not? It's almost like he's doing the opposite of what maybe Saruman used to do.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
Although he's Gandalf the White, he's not flaunting it.
Yeah.
He's not showboating.
Right, there's no hubris.
Yeah. It's sort of like as needed, it comes out,
Yep.
and he uses it. Sparingly, I guess. I don't know, because that's his charge. He's being responsible.
Sure.
I think. So, Denethor started as one waking from a trance, and the flame died in his eyes.
Oh my God!
And he wept, and he said, "Do not take my son from me. He calls for me. Do not take him."
Because that previous line is, but as he did, so as Gandalf is taking him off, Faramir moaned and called on his father in his dream. And how that is what breaks him from that trance.
Yeah. Wow.
Like remembering, this is my son.
Right. Oh my goodness.
This is where I kind of lost it a little bit. I started to get a little emotional.
No, it's
reading this part.
Well, it's wow. What breaks the power? What breaks this trance is the love that Faramir has for his father and that connection, and wanting that comfort that was there. It's so sad because it makes you think that how long has Denethor been? I wish we could have seen him when he had both Boromir and Faramir.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He was a different person, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Before he was using it's like a drug.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, it's like, and before he's being influenced.
Before he was looking and seeing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's sad. And it almost brings him back to his senses.
But this is where Gandalf starts giving him these chances too, right?
Mm-hmm.
These chances to come back, which just again the wisdom of Gandalf, the patience he has, like and the trust that he puts in men.
Yep.
He says, he calls, said Gandalf, but you cannot come to him yet, for he must seek healing on the threshold of death and maybe find it not. Whereas your part is to go out to the battle of your city, where maybe death awaits you. This you know in your heart, right? And it talks about when we first meet Denethor that he's dressed for battle, right? He's got his sword on his side. He's like this guy who's was ready for war, right? And then when it's time to go out, he sends Faramir. He sends everyone else. He stays up in his tower, and how this is a chance that he could redeem himself, right? And in the same way, a long time ago, Theoden sat kind of in a trance himself.
Yep. Okay.
And he was roused, and Gandalf pretty much said the same thing.
Sure.
And he chose to go to battle a few times.
Yeah.
And that's how he entered into the realm of his forefathers, not being ashamed, like having earned this glory on the battlefield. And this is Denethor's chance to do that. So that very same thing. So Gandalf giving him counsel, even though Denethor doesn't want his counsel, and saying, this is how you can do it, man. This is how you can make it better. Yeah. That's how you redeem yourself. That's how you get your son back.
Did you mention also that that's what he said to Saruman?
No, but
right?
yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes, he does.
He's always giving people the chance.
He's all about restoring.
Yeah.
Restoring, dude.
Yep. Big deal. Yeah. And so
he's beautiful, isn't he?
He is, and that's the chance that he's given here. But but he doesn't take it. He's too far corrupted. It's almost too bad that Faramir is not in a state where he can talk to his father. I often think, just that little...
Would that have changed
him
things?
calling out to his father, because he's under this influence as for quite some time.
Right.
And I bet it was his sons who kept him, kept him grounded or kept him...
But then you also have this thing with Faramir, right, where doesn't he call him the wizard's pupil?
Yeah, he does.
Later on, too.
Yep. Well, he did earlier, and then he does here.
It's like he's so divided now, he's so split that I don't know.
Well, here's what happens, right? So he says, "Come, we are needed. There is much that we can yet do." Then suddenly, Denethor laughed. Yeah. He stood up tall and proud again, and stepping swiftly back to the table, he lifted from it the pillow on which his head had lain. Underneath the pillow, which his head was laying, is the Palantir.
Yeah.
That he's been sort of obsessing over.
Yeah.
And hiding. And this is the steward's secret. So, let's see the little description here. You could kind of see the glow with an inner flame.
Sure. And the way his face looks, right?
Yeah.
Hard as stone, sharp with black shadows, noble, proud, and terrible. Mm-hmm. And his eyes are glittering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, and here he goes. Didst thou think that the eyes of the White Tower were blind?
Yeah.
Wow. Nay, I have seen more than thou knowest, grey fool. For thy hope is but ignorance. So again, this is where we talked about what he's seeing. And he's saying, go forth. Go fight. There's no hope. There's no way.
It's vanity. Vain to do so.
Even Aragorn had a great struggle, right?
Yeah.
Had a great struggle, and it took a lot of power to not be pulled under, and to not have Sauron influencing and corrupting your mind and putting in these dark thoughts.
Yeah.
In the House of the Healing, you'll see, we'll read later on, that every single one of them who were under the influence, or who had the shadow effect on them because of their interaction with the Nazgul, like in their dreams, it's just dark. Just dark thoughts. It's it's demon-like stuff. It's just evil whisperings into their mind that corrupt them, and they can't unsee, or they can't see beyond it. It's
and we see how it. We've had a glimpse of that as how it's haunted Frodo, right?
Yeah.
From that interaction, that Weathertop that carried on the physical burden, but also what that did to his mind as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a great point. Great point.
Real quick while we're in here, so I'm back in the dock. Is this artwork from Alan Lee in here that you have, or what? Who is this? You got a couple of different pictures or images in here.
I do have a few there.
Here we go.
The bottom one is from
that's Alan from Alan Lee. Gotcha.
Yep, which is when they come into Minas Tirith and they meet Denethor and he's in his grief.
Okay.
There's another one. I love seeing different depictions of him and how people imagined him, what he looked like. In that one by Joshua Caros, you can see he's kind of more dressed ceremoniously and for battle, and his sword's at his side, and he has armor on.
Yeah.
And just kind of a different look than he's portrayed in other illustrations and in the film and such. So, yeah, he's a fascinating character. He is one that I've never really appreciated until this read through.
Well, and how sorry we are. We love Faramir. We love Boromir, and this is their father, who has been holding the seat waiting for them, and he's proud. He's.
I think the whole thing is it's just like it's such a shame because this didn't have to go this way. Yeah, I think is that's why it's even more tragic. Is even now he's getting chances to fix. A lot of damage has been done, obviously, a lot, but Gandalf is showing him that there is still hope. Mm-hmm. And this is how, for you personally, you can I don't know, you can get some of that back. Yeah, and just the he has believed the lies. Yes. The lies he's been shown. Yes. And that's taken too much of a grip on him. And
it's almost like what you see in that Palantir.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
How you interpret it a little bit.
And also you have to be careful with sight. Sure. Because some of the stuff is just being taken at
no context.
Context
right.
at face value.
Right.
And I think back to Galadriel's mirror and her warning of what you could see, and people believing there is a Palantir in there as well.
I
love that.
I know people say it's absolutely possible, but I like it. I think it's very creative. Yeah.
So anyways, what he sees is this fleet moving up the Anduin.
Yeah.
And that's really what is, I think in his mind, although all these other great deeds are going to be done, it's the arrival of the fleet that is going to be the undoing of...
They have no counter for that.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And he can't see beyond the sails, really.
Can't see within the ships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Gandalf says, such counsels will make the enemy's victory certain indeed.
Yeah.
Hope on, then, Denethor laughed. Hope on. Awful. Thy hope is to rule in my stead.
Yeah.
So, this is interesting. He starts to talk
paranoia.
about how Gandalf is maybe trying to be the ruler behind every throne.
Yeah.
Right? And how basically he wants to rule but not sit the throne, and how he
manipulate. He wants to be a puppet master.
Exactly.
Right.
The person who he's bringing in, this ranger, Aragorn, is one of his pupils, right? Is someone that he's going to put into power.
Which is funny because it's kind of a perversion of what Gandalf does. Gandalf does give advice. He does empower individuals, but it's so that those individuals can do the right thing and make the world better through their actions, not through any kind of control of his.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there is kind of like almost a strand of truth in what he's saying, but it's being twisted. And you can see how influence from the Dark Lord would take a bit of truth, mix a little fear in there.
Yep.
And it becomes something totally different.
Mm-hmm.
And paranoia feeds into it, right? He feels threatened. He feels like the only reason you would give me any kind of counsel that would sound good is so that you can take my place or find someone to take my place and kick me out, because the stewards aren't supposed to, in the long game, we don't end up in charge of Minas Tirith.
Yeah.
We're only a Band-Aid, right?
Yeah, right. The legends and the songs and everything, the great... all that greatness belongs to the kings.
The kings.
Yeah, and it's in our rule, if you will, or stewardship is coming to an end.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like that. I mean, it's he almost feels, it's almost like a sense of, it feels like he's been, like that line has forsaken or has not been around. Remember, there's a great, back at the Council of Elrond, right? When Aragorn has to kind of talk about what he and his people have been doing.
Yeah.
And that he doesn't doubt what Boromir and the strength of Gondor has been right there at the enemy's gate.
Yep.
Dealing with things there, but they've also been fighting another fight.
Yep.
So it's just, you wonder.
Everyone thinks their battle's the most important.
Sure. Well, that's the whole thing going on here with Gandalf, right? Is that like you would think the battle outside is way more important, but no, to save Faramir and to try to save Denethor is huge. Yeah. So. And that's what Gandalf says, right? Or I'm sorry, that's what Gandalf says. What then would you have if your will could have its way?
Yeah.
Denethor says, I would have things as they were in all the days of my life, and in the days of my long fathers before me, to be the lord of the city in peace and leave my chair to a son after me, which is just crazy to think about. And he says,
I just think the wisdom there too, and selflessness that Gandalf shows when he says that. Well, what do you want then, Denethor?
Yeah, what do you want?
If you had your way, how would you see it? And he spells it out. Like that is the root of all of his decisions. I want it to be how it used to be, the good old days.
Yep.
Where we're in charge and the glory of the stewards is lived out.
Yeah. And he wants to pass this on to his son. And so the irony is that Sauron is working on him to take the life of his own son.
Right, yeah.
And so there will be nothing left at that point except for his own demise. We missed there's a line where Gandalf kind of talks to him about not having the ability or shouldn't be able to or shouldn't want or desire to take his own life, and that was something that the heathen kings of old had done.
Yes, yeah,
right. So that was back a few paragraphs, but anyways, he Yeah, so he's wanting to return to those times. But he says that he wants a son, though. He's referring to his son here that will take his place, who was his own master and no wizard's pupil.
Right.
Yeah.
So...
But if that can't be, then doom, all of it. Just goes to doom, death, despair sets in, all of that.
Yeah.
Which is weird because he had, I think, when he thought of Faramir, and now that we're here at this chapter and you think back to when Gandalf first kind of goes in there and he's talking and you hear Faramir kind of talking to his father and Gandalf is there and all that whole conversation, right? It's interesting that he talks about Faramir as being a wizard's pupil and being seeing things from Gandalf's perspective or different from his own. So it's that is a thought that's been on him for a long time.
And my question too is like, where's the seed of that thought?
Yeah.
Was that his? Was that something that, again, there's a strand of truth, right? Too, but it was perverted by the lies that are running through his head and the lies that feed into the paranoia. And I mean, one of the lessons here too is it's really important to think about what influences you let inside, right? What influences do you feed? Everyone has these I'm convinced everyone has like flashes of thoughts that aren't their own, that are not good. Yep. We see Aragorn have doubts. Mm-hmm. We see Gandalf have doubts. We see Frodo struggle with doubts. Yep. Right? Thoughts that don't come from those characters. Yeah. They're shot in there just because there's evil in this world. Yep. Right? And it's, what do you decide to fight against? What do you decide to feed in the end? Mm-hmm. And that's part of it, right? Is Denethor gave into these. He like the pressure built up, and he either didn't know how to fight it, or other things distracted him or took his joy. Like losing Boromir, I'm sure was a big blow for him too. Because now, like you said, the only son I have left is a wizard's pupil. Right,
and he, right. If he would have had Boromir, I think he would have still seen that vision of passing this on to him. Yeah. Maybe even it seems like they've been giving up that Palantir. Yeah. From father to son for a long time. Yeah. Right. And how long has that been? That's something to give up. I mean, maybe they don't use it. Right. That's part of the thing. And maybe Denethor just noticing that the hour is growing late and that darkness is spreading.
Of pressure on Denethor, man. A lot of pressure.
Use every tool that you have at your disposal. Boromir also, that's part of his temptation, right? Is gosh, maybe in normal times, in times of peace, I wouldn't do it, but we're not in those times. Right. And so they start to think, yeah, this is something we have to use and do. So it's not a thought that starts. It's not a bad, evil thought really at first, because their intent is all good. Right. But turn to evil here. So, okay, now Gandalf sort of says that to me, this is a great line. To me, it would not seem that a steward who faithfully surrenders his charge is diminished in love or in honor. Yeah. Wow. And then he also goes on to talk about that he's probably robbing his son of that choice to live on and maybe even be the steward who would then pass this on to the king. Yep. So, and it's those words that really kind of fire Denethor up and get him going.
Takes his knife out.
Yeah, it takes his knife out, right? But Aragorn sprang forward and set himself before Faramir. Aragorn. Yeah.
Third time.
What did I say? What did I say? That's what I didn't even notice. What did I say?
Faragorn. I love it.
No, I did not.
Let's just do a rewrite, man. Did I really? Faragorn's better.
Why am I saying
acting a lot like Aragorn, that's why.
Baragon.
Baragon's a hero, man. He is.
Well, so I wanted the third time to be organic. That was organic.
So there it is.
Hopefully he doesn't come up a fourth time. Shoot. That's funny. All right. So, but it's with that, though, that Denethor kind of... thou hast already stolen half my son's love. There it is. Yep. There it is. Now thou stillest the hearts of my knights also, so that they rob me wholly of my son at last. Man, it's almost like he wanted to take his son with him in death. That was something that he could control.
I can get him back.
Yeah.
I'll steal him back.
Yeah. Okay.
Determine his fate, or how he'll meet his fate.
Right. And so since he can't take his son's life, basically, to kind of move through some of this, he will take his own.
Yeah, and I don't know, like this, the way this happened in the book, Because he could have pushed here and tried to get at Faramir. And I almost feel like I know and people would probably disagree with me, but this is a more noble end than he meets in the movies, I believe. I mean, in the movies, his son is on the pyre. He drops the torch, and it's Pippin who has to like throw him off for Faramir to not burn, right? And so
it's when he sees that his son is alive in the film, right? That he's sort of like,
yeah.
Now that was kind of good, I thought.
Yeah.
Because it's like he's in that trance.
Yeah, that's where we get that breaking out of the trance.
He really sees that his son is alive, and that's when he's like, he almost can't believe it, and it's almost too late, and he's burning.
And then he runs away. And
this is more, I think, a little darker.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
and I think he gives up that fight to try and take his son with him.
That's
what I mean. That's I guess. But yeah, they're both pretty dark. I guess it's like lesser of two evils, but. At least he doesn't try to force that even more.
That's right.
He relinquishes his son.
He doesn't actually set his son, essentially on fire.
Right, he doesn't. Right.
He doesn't put up the struggle. I think he does. He falls back and recedes and realizes that that he's been taken from him. It's just crazy because his mind, he's still very much corrupt. It's still his mind is in the control of Sauron.
Yeah.
He's under that influence.
Yeah.
And there's really. He can't get away from it. It makes me think just like Saruman, and how much he was influenced, and how like the usage, how much they drawn, how much interaction that they had on or with the Palantir, and how difficult that was for them to, because again, Saruman, is given that same chance to redeem himself.
Yeah,
but. It's almost like the wiser they are and the more powerful they are.
The pride.
Yeah.
Pride's hard to swallow, isn't it?
It's harder, right? It's harder to... So, I don't know if that has something to do with it or not.
That's a great point. I mean, that is... Yeah, a lesson we've learned again and again, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, this is interesting about... with the Palantir here, he takes it into the blaze.
Right.
So he's up there. He's back up on... He's leaning on the... He breaks the staff of the steward... the steward's staff... over his knee, and he casts the pieces
symbolic
into the
there,
blaze.
isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. He's clasping the Palantir with both hands upon his breast, and it was said
a very Lewis thing right here.
Yeah,
like we talked about.
And it was said that ever after, if any man looked in that stone, unless he had great strength of will to turn it to other purposes, he saw only two aged hands withering in flame.
Almost like he had been so taken by that stone that it like his soul bound to it.
Yeah,
isn't that wild?
Right? Yeah,
like he's always there. He was so had taken him fully, man.
Yep. Yeah,
so sad. Just really, I don't know.
Yeah,
very tragic.
It is sad, and Gandalf is struck with grief and horror at this side of it, and they've got Faramir in their charge, and so it's just awful.
And that's another part of the loss that we were talking about too. Is Gandalf sees this as a huge loss, right? He wasn't able to reason him out of this. He lost him to Sauron. Denethor went to Sauron. He wasn't able to get him back, even though he tried pleading with him and reasoning with him. He lost him.
Yeah,
that would feel like a defeat, big time.
Right. Okay. So essentially, we have this line. Is this the same line from the film where Gandalf says when referring to Denethor?
I think so.
Yeah. So passes Denethor, son of Ecthelion.
Yep.
Yeah. He turned a bit to Baragon.
You got it, baby.
Got it.
Did you see that?
I did see that.
Holy cow.
We have fire literally over here. The table's on fire, guys. So he turned to Baragon.
It's pretty fitting.
He turned to Baragon, and the
There's
Lord's
a pyre?
servant. Yeah, really. That really did burn, though. Look at that next to the glass. That really.
Hey, Texas Candle Cakery. That's an unexpected candle right there. Go get yours.
I'm worried.
Get yours now.
Is that too hot that it would burn the table?
No. This is Oakenshield, my friend.
Oh, shit. Oh my God.
Mithril.
That's really hot. I mean, that's really hot. I don't know if it's.
Oh, wow.
Wow, right?
I dare you to touch it.
I dare you to move it.
Wait, pull an Aragorn.
Wow. Hold
or
on.
Strider.
All right, we're good. We're good. I thought it was burning through the table.
So passes table. Son of big tree.
Oh, man, yeah. Oh, gosh. That smells good, though. That smells good.
Son of tree.
Oh, jeez. Oh, gosh. Yeah.
That's brilliant.
It can burn just without all the equipment on the table, okay? I'm kidding. I love this table.
This table, yeah. I mean, we could tell some tales about this table.
That's great. Wow. That's After Hour podcast.
It didn't sound, I mean, it's not dirt. Well, it's dirty after you eat on it, but.
Yeah, we wiped it down. Okay.
This is the time we could show them for those watching at home when I usually take a pee break.
Are you holding it?
I think I can actually make it.
I think we're good. We just have a page and a half here. So
it's emotional. I don't like getting emotional when I also have to urinate.
Have to pee, yeah.
Because then all the floodgates open.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. So
and
here we go.
My nose is just running constantly.
Right. Baragon.
Amen.
We get some talking about his deeds that have been done here. But let now all enmity that lies between you be put away. He's talking about the servants.
Yep.
Yeah, and Baragon and sort of that fight that took place there.
Yeah.
Let that go to the wayside here. You've been caught in the net of warring duties.
Yeah. Right.
Right. This is a mess.
Because really, if you think about it, they were all doing their job.
They were.
Right.
Yep. Right. And there's this. It's darkness has crept in, the treason that's happening here. Man, they... here we go. Bear away from this unhappy place, your comrades who have fallen, and we will bear Faramir, steward of Gondor, to a place where he can sleep in peace or die, if that be his doom.
Yeah.
He's pretty... I mean, if they could have got to him earlier, things... I mean, there's a poison in him. There's a fever that's on him that's... that could take his life.
Right.
Okay. Gandalf and Baragon here. Where's the part where he mentions that he's basically responsible for saving his life? We might have missed that part, but he says it.
Yeah.
I mean,
he says, "Let all enmity die between you." But for the treason of Baragon, Faramir, captain of the White Tower, would now also be burned.
There we go.
So treason saved him.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So as they rush away, essentially the house is smoked and cracked, and there's
fell in a flurry of fire.
Yep.
I thought that was beautiful alliteration. Yep. Fell in a flurry of fire. Sounds like fire, almost, doesn't it?
So was it Baragon who actually
don't you think that sounds like fire?
Killed the doorkeep there?
Yes.
The porter? Okay.
Yeah, and he grieves it, right?
Right.
This deed I shall ever rue, but a madness of haste was on me, and he would not listen. But drew sword against me. I mean, he had to.
Right. That's crazy.
Can you imagine? Yeah, he'd be haunted by that.
Right.
Gosh.
Okay. And so the key, the key is given over there. The Prince of Dol Amroth is in command in the absence of the Lord. Glad everyone can see that now. That's great. That's good.
Sorry.
No, it's good.
It's allergies, man. It's allergy season.
Hey, man.
Allegra.
Can't you put those allergies on hold while we do the reread?
I need to go to the Houses of Healing, bro.
Seriously?
Lord Aragorn!
We got any King's foil up in here?
Breathe on me. Aslan. All right. It's literally dripping down.
I know.
Oh, that's great radio too, isn't it? Just good audio.
It's dripping.
Explaining.
If that gets on the mic, I'm gonna be.
Dude, this is all you need to worry about. This wire, bro. Okay, now, if I like chew on that,
then we're in trouble.
Might as well throw it away.
Can't
replace it, Nate. I don't know if you know that. He's not an industry guy, but in the industry,
gotta have that horizontal wire.
Oh, boy.
There it is.
And if it goes vertical,
Game over.
Game over. You're Denethor, as they say.
Oh, God. All right. Let's move on. Let's get out of the Citadel, and they move in. They're taking... Yeah, finally. They're
Houses of Healing.
Houses of Healing. Yes.
We get this beautiful little description here, too, that I underlined. I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And these were fair houses set apart for the care of those who were grievously sick, but now they were prepared for the tending of men and hurt in battle or dying. They stood not far from the citadel gate in the sixth circle, nigh to its southward wall, and about them was a garden and a greensward with trees, the only such place in the city. There dwelt a few women that had been permitted to remain in Minas Tirith, which is something we don't even think about, since they were skilled in healing or in the service of the healers.
Yeah, more on that next chapter.
Moron?
What'd you call me? What'd you call me? Yeah.
Oh, something else that came to my mind as when we were reading this chapter is that, especially with that conflict. So you have the dark or the Black Rider, the Witch King who rides out and battles in the battlefield.
Yeah.
And we have the White Rider that comes to the heights. It's just interesting. The highest battle and the lowest battle and different battles they fought. And I thought about Aragorn's words when the White Rider was revealed, right? The Dark Lord has 9, but we have 1 greater than any of those.
Let's go.
The White Rider.
Let's go.
And just how we see that here. We see that in this chapter.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, Gandalf is struggling, feeling like there was some sort of defeat.
Mm-hmm.
But he did make the right choice yet again. He did have a victory, and what he did was the ripples will show that absolutely it was the right choice and good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Decisions.
The next podcast by Ezra Kurtz.
Oh, here we go.
Narrated by Lane Smith.
Decisions.
Welcome to Decisions.
Here we go.
What would you decide on this day? Didst thou doeth unto thee as thou was donest unto thou?
Okay, all right. Oh, if you guys are interested
Next
in that
week
podcast.
on Decisions.
Well, speaking of which,
we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 paragraphs left, my friend.
Which means we should start thinking about doing some sort of Lord of the Rings podcast. Got to get the name spot on, though.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a lot of healing that needs done, Ez.
Uh-huh.
And part of that is for us to finally start this Lord of the Rings podcast on YouTube, maybe.
Yeah.
On Podbean, on iTunes.
Sure.
Wherever podcasts are sold.
Okay.
Got any ideas?
Yeah. If just off my head here, the Denny started the Pyre podcast.
I like it. It's a little long for me.
Hard to read too.
How about the Friend at War with Friend podcast? That's kind of the basis of our relationship.
That's also dark. Really dark.
Wow.
But on that note, the I Will Not Be Your Tool podcast.
You've said that before. It was convincing. How about the Great Sorrow and Renown podcast? Is that too sad?
All of these are really sad. Yeah. I feel like...
How about the Pyre of Denethor? And maybe I have to pee even more now.
Yeah, I gotta pee. Yeah.
Even though, just it's not the same thing.
I mean, yeah. I don't know, my friend.
The Pyre of Denethor sounds like somewhere you'd vacation and really regret it. Where'd you guys go on spring break? The Pyre of Denethor. Out there in Myrtle Beach.
What was this song we were singing earlier that was terrible? That you were coming up with.
Denethor started the fire.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It was always burning Faramir. Yeah.
I can't.
It's bad.
All right, Nate, edit that out. No, I'm just kidding.
Bleep it.
I'm kidding. Wow.
You're so insensitive, Lane.
All right.
I know.
So, here we go. Let's see. Éomer rode out from the forefront of battle and stood beside those who lay upon the field. He sighed. He cast his cloak about him again and went to the walls. Baragon and Pippin found him standing in thought before the door of the houses when they came out. So here we go. We're kind of flashing to Éomer being upset about the loss of his king and the loss of his sister.
Gandalf's foresight and being able to, he's up high and he's seeing this all happen, right? His literal vision. I think it's cool, just juxtaposed to all those gray stone figures that were like shadows. It's interesting how we've got Gandalf here, like a figure carven in white he stood in the new sun and looked out. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Just the opposite, the exact opposite.
Yeah.
It's interesting to think about.
Yeah, it is. Well, and
he's silent too, right? For
is
a long
this where
time.
he's kind of reflecting, right?
Yeah. This is deep stuff, dude. Like, this is stuff that I wish. I guess it's fitting that we have to come here and experience it this way and talk about it this way. But like, how cool, how powerful of a moment would this be on screen?
Well,
Ian McKellen, how well.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is the stuff I'm like, there are so many good parts of the films. We just gonna have to remake it as a TV show, I guess.
This is a part where I really think, like an artist, someone could do some artwork of this silence, this moment of silence that he's having, and the thoughts he's having here in the aftermath of this. And at last he spoke, my friends, and all you people of this city in the western lands, things of great sorrow and renown have come to pass. Shall we weep or be glad? Right? Beyond hope, the captain of our foe has been destroyed, and you have heard the echo of his last despair.
Right.
But he has not gone without woe and bitter loss, and that I might have averted, but for the madness of Denethor. So he's torn.
Yeah.
Right? He's torn here. So long has the reach of our enemy become, alas, but now I perceive how this will was able to enter into the very heart of the city.
Don't you think that's part of the humility of Gandalf too, is he is so torn?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I do.
He struggles with what was right, what was wrong.
You go back to his origins and him coming in, and him.
He didn't want to.
No,
right?
yeah,
reluctant to.
Fearful. I mean, afraid that he wouldn't be able to fulfill his duties, and was just afraid. And was honest about his fear.
Yeah.
I think something we all need to could learn. You know, we all have fears. We all have, as you said, those thoughts that come into our mind that are evil that we could either dwell on, and it's hard to be brave and to
when you stop and wonder, am I really doing the right thing? How could I do more? Yeah.
So this is where Gandalf kind of reveals to us that the seven seeing stones. There you go. Say that seven times. 7 times or faster. Oh Lord. So, but he realizes he realizes that Denethor, that in the days of his wisdom, he did not presume to use it nor challenge Sauron, knowing the limits of his own strength. But his wisdom failed, and so that really is the peril that he went through. He went to the stone far too often and deceived him, and he had guessed since Boromir had departed.
Yeah. So not really that long.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. Now I understand what seemed so strange to me, said Pippin, shuddering at his memories as he spoke. The Lord went away from the room where Faramir lay, and it was only when he returned that I first thought he was changed, old and broken. So he notices that sort of going in and out of a trance and sort of the defeated nature.
And did you read that line too that totally pairs in with what you were saying earlier, comparing him to Saruman and the pride that he was too great to be subdued to the will of the Dark Power? Did you read that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't read it, but
that's exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah,
and that whole issue of pride getting in the way, and no matter how much Saruman or Denethor in this case would have wanted to, it's almost like the disgrace, because they're so proud, they wouldn't have been able to deal with that in the aftermath. Like people knowing that they were once this way, when really people would see that transformation as something amazing, but they don't see it that way themselves.
Right.
You know. Yeah.
Right. So they. So that we move on here.
God, I'm sorry.
Baragon confirms
Yep.
that it was the strange light that they had seen. It was rumored in the city that Denethor was wrestling in thought with his enemy.
Yep.
And that he was possibly up there. They didn't know really what it was.
Yeah.
But now we understand what it was that he was using. So, really here to wrap this up. I mean, they talk about heading to the House of Healing, and that's where they're needed. And actually, Gandalf really is needed there, and we find out that his presence in the House of Healing is important. It kind of prolongs life in there and can keep sort of the darkness at bay while we wait for the hope and the return.
Yeah.
So go now, I shall return soon. With that he turned away and went with Pippin down towards the lower city. And even as they hastened on their way, the wind brought a gray rain, and all the fires sank, and there arose a great smoke before them.
Again, gray, smoke. Yeah.
Yep.
That color again and again.
Yeah. So,
and even the gray mantle, right? Of
Gandalf,
a common thread.
Well, we talked about the remember when they were entering the city, or let's see, it was the Rohirrim. They noticed that gray weather or whatever, like cloud. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was really foreshadowing the Grey Company coming,
right?
Which was interesting.
Yeah.
So
yeah, right. We did talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think it's cool, the moral that Tolkien teaches us here, to not believe lies, to not believe the lies that you're told that you might see, to like evaluate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To think about, is this true? How can I fight against this? And that there is always hope.
Right.
I mean, it's amazing, dude.
Yep.
Like, I felt like this whole chapter was kind of like a parable, almost.
Sure.
Almost like a mini story that you could give this to someone and say, there's a lesson to be learned here.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Beautiful, though.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
boy.
I think that was the chapter. Let's see
Yep.
if there's any... we're on to Bywater Post, aren't we, my friend?
Yeah, we got a couple to read. One that got stuck down at the bottom of the old mailbag there since about October. So for almost a year. Not too bad. And then one that just came in the mail today. It's powerful. It actually ties into that whole concept of believing the lie or choosing to find hope and fight against that in a incredibly powerful way. So, do you wanna read this one from Jonathan, and I can read the letter?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Here we go. So from Jonathan, we have, as in Lane, I realize that if Ohio is the home of the Shire, then geographically, I would be in Numenor. And the funny thing is, Numenor is shaped like a star, and I am in the Lone Star State.
There you go.
Wow.
Idaho.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Right. Idaho.
Sure. Yeah.
Texas.
Okay. My story began when I was probably about 6 or 7. My dad still has a bottom drawer of his dresser where he keeps special things, gifts, memories, etc. The coolest thing, though, was a stack of calendars, about 20 years worth of Lord of the Rings 12-month calendars.
20 years worth.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
As a kid, I remember looking through them and just riddling my dad with questions of what I was seeing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google Lord of the Rings. Is it
Hildebrand?
Thank you. And pretend you are about 7 years old. They were the coolest things to me. I would often just get them out and look through them. I had never seen anything like them, like what was depicted in those calendars. At some point, my dad introduced me to the animated Hobbit movie, which I still prefer over the Peter Jackson Hobbit films.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then later on, a road trip with my dad, we listened to the audio drama of The Hobbit, which I recently found in its entirety on YouTube. I tried watching the animated Lord of the Rings films, but just couldn't get into it. Okay. Jump ahead to me being 16 and seeing a trailer for the Lord of the Rings movies. I decided then and there I would read The Hobbit and The Fellowship before the first movie came out. We went to the midnight showing, which became a tradition for the following 2 years. And I still remember sitting in the theater, waiting for the film to start and finishing The Fellowship with moments to spare before it started. Of course, the movie went into the first chapter of The Two Towers. It was a nice surprise.
Yeah.
Jumping ahead a little more, I remember getting the extended edition of The Two Towers and watching the movie immediately when I got home. It ended at about 11 p.m. I put the first disc back in and watched the movie again with commentary.
That's the way to do it.
Oh, there you go.
That is the way to do it.
Since then, about 2 times, my dad and I have watched an extended edition marathon. Wow. I am dying to do it again, but 2 jobs and 3 little hobbits of my own make it hard.
Yeah, that would be difficult.
Yeah.
Yep.
But deciding to reread the books for the first time since the first time, and to continue and to read the rest of Tolkien's work, I am so happy. I looked for a podcast to take this journey with, and I'm even happier that I found Up. I am not sorry for the long email, and and may the hair on your toes never fall out. Frodo lives. Jonathan Hips.
Well, Jonathan, we are sorry for how long it took us to read the email.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's just one of those ones that got stuck in the bottom of the bag, like we said. But Jonathan sent us an email recently and said he double checked to make sure that he also hadn't sent it to the wrong email, and he was like, "Hey, it's in there. Check it out."
Oh,
so we
sweet.
did a search, and that's helpful if you guys do that.
Please do if we miss one.
Right, because there are, we're not joking, there are dozens and tens and maybe hundreds. Are there hundreds?
Is there an email cleaning hiring service that we can get that would go through and, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think we're in need of that, but
yeah, I think
it's
so.
a good problem to have. It's great.
So maybe some brownie elves could help us out. They're known for cleaning abilities in football. Yeah. So anyway, let us know if one of your letters has gotten lost, and we'll remedy that for sure. The next one came in the mail, and I thought this was awesome. Deep, heavy, and just really a story that I think if shared can help a lot of people. So, Dear Lane and Ez. First of all, thank you for starting this podcast. I have been binging it for months, and I am so sad I am caught up because now I can't listen to you guys for 10 hours straight anymore. That's incredible. I couldn't listen to us for 10 hours straight. 10 minutes is also a push for me, so yeah. God bless her. My story. Growing up, I was a very depressed child. I am the 4th in 11 children, and I struggled with self-harm and suicidal thoughts by age 14. Books were always a welcome relief for me because they helped me escape the reality that is life. I was not allowed to read the books because we were in a Christian family. However, when I was 16, my mom let me watch the movies, and I fell in love. Watching Frodo fight the weight of the ring and escape the Black Riders over and over again felt so familiar it brought tears to my eyes. I knew what it felt like to hold and carry that burden. The longer it's on you, the heavier it gets. As I watched the movies over and over again, I felt like I was on my own journey to Mount Doom, and something in me changed. I still struggled for some time, but now I had hope. Instead of keeping my struggles secret, I reached out for help and found it in my mom. On my journey, I also met my own Samwise at 18. His name is Edwin. He stuck with me all the way to Mount Doom, even carried me at times, and is now my husband. We now have 2 beautiful girls together, ages 5 and 2. I plan to share these wonderful stories with them that truly helped save my life. In the end, much like Frodo, I still feel the scars and the effects of my own ring and journey from time to time, but I'm finally free. P.S. Thank you so much for everything you guys do. You and your wonderful family/community are amazing. And Jamie Lee signs it, Frodo lives, and so do I. If that's not beautiful, I don't know what is. And I just felt like it was weird. We went to the post office today and picked up the mail, and this letter was in there. And fresh from reading this chapter, I thought, here is one. Here is one, Jamie, who listened to the words of Gandalf, who listened to the voice of reason and hope, and who found hope and chose to listen to that voice. So also, Jamie has a Facebook page, the Jamie Lee Collection, Jamie Leigh Lee, and she does painting and cakes and is a beautiful artist. So, I was touched by that and blown away by it, and
I'm speechless.
Yeah.
Yep. Here's the thing, like as you said, she said, the longer you hold that burden inside, or that you have those feelings, and you can't. I mean, that's tough, right? To be. That's what's so interesting, and that's why we love Sam so much.
Yeah,
is that he's someone who can help share the load.
Yeah.
And when you find someone like that, and they help you work through it, I mean, or they're just there to support you. That's everything, right? That's everything. That's what that's why I believe so much in friendship and companionship and things. I mean, it's like, that's huge.
Yeah.
It is how we make it through.
Yeah.
I mean, really, one of the things in this chapter, and all you told me before I hadn't heard that. I had not heard that. I hadn't read it, but you told me that it was interesting because we were talking about, now I'm thinking back to our talk about demons on the inside and the enemy within, right? That's attacking us all the time, trying to, I mean, man, going to and fro, right? Yeah. Up and down.
Yeah.
Shaming at Christmas, trying to devour us from within and take us down. And we need each other to help one another along life's journey.
Absolutely.
And so, man, that's something that's it. You know what it is? It's a story. We've had a couple of these stories and talking about the impact that this work has had on someone's life. And, this is interesting because I just had not too long ago, someone kind of scoff and laugh, about something I was saying, the power that was in our fellowship and that was in these stories and that was in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
And that person is no longer going to be a part of my life. And it's crazy because I don't know, man, it's amazing. It's amazing when you hear these stories, and that Jamie lives.
Yeah.
That'll give you chills. I mean, that's something else. And that's why too, if there's people who are listening or now, watching the podcast, and I'll tell you what too, since this is the first video that we're kind of doing, we're putting on YouTube, we have the best Facebook group on the planet.
Yep.
We do.
Yep.
100%.
You agree, Nate?
It's great. I think Nate could talk about it a little bit. I mean, it's something that I'm proud to be a part of it.
Just be a part of it.
Just be a part of it.
Just be a part of it.
Because when I need support, it's there.
Yep.
And when other people have needed support, it's there.
Yep.
So people lift each other up from time to time, and it's not like everyone's just respectful. It's just good.
It's a true fellowship. I mean,
it really is.
It's really what you read about in these stories, how this group of people stays supportive, even though distance comes into play and they get splintered, and some of them they think they might never even see each other again, right?
Yeah.
And some of us will never meet each other. It just won't happen. But we're a part of the same group, and we affect each other's lives. And I don't know, man. I see it as like an example of what society is supposed to be like, what humankind, how we're supposed to treat each other. Like, and Facebook is one of the nastiest places in the world.
Yeah.
Talk about where demons run to and fro.
That's right.
I mean,
That's
Facebook, social media is a part of it.
That's
a huge part of it. That's a playground. And I think that and it's because of the decisions you all make every day in that group, that it is a source of light. It is a beacon of hope. And it's just beautiful. It's beautiful to see people just support each other and be kind and be nice. And people can drop in and say, I'm having a hard week. Please post some quotes or words of inspiration. I need it today.
Yep.
And 20 comments, 30 comments, 10, 15 comments on all those, because we all do care about each other. And it's just, it's
an instrument
refreshing.
And a tool that we're using for good.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's also why even people who come in and they try to pervert it, or if they try to do something, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work because there's another power at work in there, my friends.
Man.
I mean, so that's
for sure.
That's another thing. But I don't know. Thank you to Jamie for sharing that, because
thank you, Jamie.
That's huge. It's powerful, and it's really causes you to think, and it's I don't know, gives us all hope.
Frodo lives, and so do I.
Yeah,
that's pretty powerful.
Yep. All right, so we're skipping strawberries with cream, right?
Strawberries with cream.
I mean, I almost sometimes feel like
it's actually pretty deep here.
Is it?
So it's along the same vein.
Okay.
What's something you almost destroyed, but realized how stupid it would have been reacting with a save in the end.
Wow. Something.
I'm gonna take a pee break.
You're gonna hold it to the end.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead and read your line there.
I can't read that.
Okay.
I can't read that. Again, those are hidden gems for people who have access to the outlines.
We're gonna start showing Nate too.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. So I don't know, something that you almost destroyed but realized how stupid it would have been. Right with the save in the end. Something that I almost destroyed. I don't know. I'm not saying that I'm a hoarder. I don't hoard at all. But I know what to save. I pretty well save everything. I think.
Old yogurt tabs and pop cans.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that I ever threw out that I really didn't mean to. I've got totes upon totes in my storage unit of just old stuff that's like, at least it's organized and it's put away.
Yeah.
So something I've destroyed. I don't know, man. I've got nothing. I'm coming up blank here.
Wow.
Can you
good.
Here, you go ahead first.
Dude, mine's nuts. You're not even gonna believe mine.
Okay, all right.
My relationship with Sarah.
What?
I almost destroyed my relationship with my wife.
Really?
Yep. I don't know if she wants me sharing this, but I will.
My gosh.
It was, how long have we been dating? Maybe not even a full year. And we had this fight at Thanksgiving that almost ended in me. She was staying with the Smith family for Thanksgiving. I wasn't going home. She was staying with us. And we had this fight that almost ended in, she said, "What do you want me to do? You want me to stay? You want me to go home?" And we were both like in tears, and it was frustration. Just
wow.
Yep. And I almost threw it away. I almost said, "Just go home."
Wow. Shoot.
How deep is that?
Yeah.
And before those, and it was out of anger that I said that.
So what?
And before that came out of my mouth, I thought, "Don't lose her.
Wow.
Don't throw away the best relationship human being you've ever met in your life."
Why do you?
It's crazy, man.
That is crazy. But why do you think we do that sometimes? Because
why do we?
I think I've heard others. Like where you have something so good, and there have been people who.
I think some people think they don't deserve it.
Yeah.
There are some people who think they don't deserve it.
See, because I could think of some stories where I've thrown something away and I really threw it away.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Is it though? Is it?
Is it? There's still time.
Because I say that too, and I think
there's
to
still
myself,
time. Okay.
If I if I would have made the wrong decision, I think, I hope anyway. I don't know. I mean, because then that would have been a lot on how if she would have ever taken me back, kind of a deal. But like, I hope that we still would have made it and been all right. But
no, you would have.
We talk about that. We talk about that. We refer to that as the fight. It was the fight.
Right.
And it was dumb. It was me just being dumb and stupid and stubborn.
Yeah.
And
but I like what you're saying.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
When you have breath and you have life.
Yep.
Anything's possible.
While there's breath,
there's still,
there's life.
Wow. There's still that chance to kind of.
Yeah, dude. Nothing's game over.
Wow.
Got you thinking?
Got me thinking. Yeah, I still. You have to come back to me on that. I have to dwell on that. I'm serious. I am dead serious. I'm trying to actually take it serious, and I'm because I think of precious artifacts, things that I have. I actually think a lot about my mom and things that I wouldn't want destroyed and stuff. I mean, it's as silly as like the yard sale that we had. Like half the stuff we put out to sell, we took back inside.
Yeah.
I was like, this is dumb. We're not. Why are we selling this?
Can't do it. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's a great example.
So like little things like that. But I mean, I don't know.
Those aren't little things though.
No.
Not at all.
I mean, people will think I'm nuts, but like my mom's notes in all of her textbooks, nursing textbooks.
Why would you get rid of those?
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Why were those ever out there? Why, that's exactly right. Her thought on these things and stuff. I'm like, wow.
People don't do that anymore either. Like there's people. You type stuff in phones. And you type on.
These were the pages.
Your handwriting is a very intimate thing.
She's all over. I mean, she's touched that. She's all over that. I mean, I don't know. It's
massive. Wow.
Something like that.
All right. Well.
All right.
Time to share the load.
This has been a heavy episode. So
Beautiful.
We always need your help sharing the load. And honestly, you guys have. I mean, again, whether it's supporting somebody in the Facebook group. I mean, Nate is here, sharing the load. Quite honestly,
out of the goodness of his own heart.
Yeah, I mean, it's been huge. I mean, we're not as late as we typically are, by the way, on the episode.
This is early.
This is early, Nate, to say no. So Nate's over here like, wait a second, what? Really?
Checking his watch like, Jeezy,
he's
cow,
like,
man.
So in the future, these cameras will be set up, and I won't have to be here, which is...
Yeah.
But no, I mean, in all seriousness, thank you for being here and for
it.
helping us out, man.
Yeah.
It's been huge.
It's been cool. It's been a nice positive energy. Just like when we've had people on for rereads to jump into and we need Nate to jump in on
we
reread
do
too.
Yeah, we need.
If you'd like to.
Yeah, we need you on the whole chapter.
Sure.
Actually,
pick a chapter, my friend, and you're there.
When we do that though, and we're out in the studio, because I'm guessing maybe it'll be by then. Should we actually bring him into the studio, or can we just keep him outside on the monitor? I'm kidding. I wouldn't want to.
Denethor.
I wouldn't want to do that. I'm just kidding.
What a Denethor move.
But I just thought, man, wouldn't that be weird to have that,
I'll just be the voice inside your head.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, like
repay the favor, right?
Like, that one's not funny.
Yeah,
do that one again.
Oh gosh. So, anyways, we'll have him on here soon.
Absolutely.
We're thinking about. There's been a big push for us to do the Hobbit.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because we talked about that.
Huge push, and I kind of want to maybe the poll should go up.
We should. Yeah, there you go. That's next week's poll.
That's next week's poll.
Sure.
7 times fast. 7 seeing stones.
Yes. When the trilogy is done, which I guess Tolkien didn't like that term trilogy, but we're going to use it because it's easy, and you know what we're talking about. Do we move on to the Hobbit real quick, or do we dive into the Silmarillion?
Mm-hmm. I think we have time to dive into.
I do too.
The Hobbit, and I think that would also
be good.
Give us some time to kind of do some working on the histories and things.
That'd be good for us.
Yeah. Now, here's an announcement. This will be out, and we're going to send this to Jen as well, but we're going to mention it here because we know some people are kind of behind in the episodes and things like that, and that's fine. People come in every day, from a new. They start at the beginning and what have you. Some of you are caught up.
You're going to talk about the next coming weeks.
Yeah, the next couple weeks here. So we're going to have this. We recorded this episode here. Basically September 1st, I mean the 31st into the 1st. We'll post it on the 1st or the 2nd. And then from there, we're going to take a couple weeks off because we are going to really focus. I mean, I'm taking a quick little trip with my dad. We've had planned for a little bit, one weekend. And the next couple weekends, we're working on the studio. Yep. So we will have... as of this episode, right now, we have a really, really, really good conversation over on Patreon that we did a couple weeks ago. That's fantastic. I've listened to it several times. It's not out there yet. It should be here at actually in the next hour or so as we're recording. It should be coming live and available to folks over on patreon.com/UpTalkingTolkien. We'll also do some more behind-the-scenes stuff of the studio. We're going to have plenty of stuff to share when the party gets here. I think we talked to Nate maybe about doing some time-lapse stuff, maybe setting up a live Discord feed with a microphone where people will you heard us mention some of these, some of the uppers. They will be here. We just got word tonight that Jessica is coming, right?
Yep.
So
pretty wild.
That's crazy. So if she's here and
it's like the dwarves just keep showing up, man.
Yeah, here they are.
All the cloaks and the belts and all that thrown up on the pegs and
So we're hoping they can sit down maybe on Discord and chat with some of you if you're in there listening and whatnot. But we'll have a couple behind the scenes stuff and some more appendices things to share this month. Just because we're going to take that extra week off to make sure that we have everything ready to go for the party. Yeah. Because I'm getting a little wow. We got a lot of studio to finish. It's awesome.
But it's very motivating, isn't it?
Oh, it's super motivating. We've got Charlotte in the RV showing up. We've got all sorts of crazy
stuff. Jeezy cow. Got to find a place
Phil
to
and I are
going to
be out here pitching a tent together, so,
Yeah, please don't say it like that.
Well, we're pitching a tent in your backyard.
You can, yeah, sure. I just don't know what that implies.
Well, it's going to be intense. You got it. I don't really make a lot of jokes, so let me have my moment, okay? Let me give it a go.
I liked it. Nate? Let him live.
It'll pass. Yeah.
Okay. All right. It'll pass.
That's good.
Before we say goodbye, there is one thing I wanted to do real quick. I'm sorry. This might be unorthodox, but that's who I am. So at that wedding yesterday, at Logan and Bethany's wedding, there was an Apache wedding blessing that was read and hit Sarah and I. I think we both started sobbing with tears.
Yeah.
And it applies to individuals who are married, but I think it also applies in a sense to people who are friends and friendship. So you care if I read that real quick?
Absolutely.
Cool?
Let's
go.
Okay.
So it's an Apache wedding blessing. It goes, now you will feel no rain, for each of you will be shelter to the other. Now you will feel no cold, for each of you will be warmth to the other. Now there is no more loneliness, for each of you will be companion to the other. Now you are two bodies, but there is one life before you. Go now to your dwelling place, to enter into the days of your togetherness, and may your days be good and long upon the earth. So we heard that, and we have this like book of Native American wisdom, Proverbs that we actually got it at Barnes and Noble at that Rebel Watch event.
Live podcast. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And we heard that last night, and we're like, I wonder if that's in our book. And I was like, if we find it in the book, I'll read it tonight.
And it is
on the episode.
Yeah.
It's in there.
Wow.
So, be good to one another and take care of each other, right? Like
that's
we
the
like we
message.
do. Keep it on.
That's the message.
Yep. Keep it on.
And that's how you share the load. You know,
Yeah.
Whether it's friendship or what have you. Yeah. So
time for some fortnight farewells. We want to thank you for listening to Smokey and helping prevent familial fires. Next time we'll be doing some healing in the house in Chapter 8, the Houses of Healing.
Yeah. If you like our podcast, don't forget to subscribe, like us, write a review, leave a comment, or send us a Shadowfax.
Hey, man, I know that was beautiful. We'll see you in a fortnight, and remember, Frodo lives.
Hello, friends, and welcome to an Unexpected Podcast. I'm Ez.
And I'm Lane.
And we're talking Tolkien.
We're coming to you from the Shire of America, the beautiful state of Ohio, in a little village called Amamda.
This week, we're bringing the fire brigade as we ride the white cocktails. I was like, wait,
Bruce. Cocktails.
Wait, what?
Can you end the episode with this clip? That's phenomenal.
That's what we're going to do. Why is the fire brigade